And now on Who's Views, it's time to join JT, Paul, and Third Doctor Ian for the latest headlines.
Okay, then here we go. Then hello, Who viewers. It's good to see you. It is Sunday, the 31st of May, 2026. This is your big show. It's headlines from us at Who's Views. How are you doing? As you see, I've got Third Doctor Ian with me. Hello to you.
Hello. You all right?
Not too bad. Not too bad. And to point out,
Marvelous.
Paul is on his way. He's just running late today.
Shocking.
Shocking behavior. Shocking behavior. Shocking behavior. It's good to
I'll dock
see
his
you
pay.
He'd be lucky. I tell you, in fact, I tell you something. He's here now. Look at this. Not too bad.
Yeah, I saw him late.
You're on the tardy step.
That was very good, actually. Not too bad at all. But listen, we've got a great big show for you all this week because have you heard? And yes, of course, you have heard. This was the week where it was hot in the UK. And there was a massive meltdown in the Doctor Who fandom. I nearly had to order up from the 1970s gentleman a Dalek lolly. I really did.
I killed for a Dalek Death Ray. That'd be lovely.
Yeah, Death Ray would really help, wouldn't it? Yeah.
What went
For a
on
number
this
of reasons, yeah.
What went off this week, Who viewers? Lots. And I
Yeah.
have to say, a lot of it was fantastic. And I'd like to say to all those apparently other YouTubers, to apparently everybody else.
Are there any?
I don't think so, but a
Not
huge
aware of any.
congratulations for finally catching up with Who's Views, because everything that was spoken about this week, we've been talking about here on the channel for months with you guys in the chat. You know that's the case, and hurrah for all of us, because yes, this was the week where apparently the Doctor Who Christmas 2026 special is probably not going to be happening. It's in trouble. The whole production is in trouble. That's all coming up for you in this show. No one wants to be the Doctor. Again, something we've discussed about in this very show. The show has a lot of baggage, something we've talked about in this show over the last few months. This is great stuff. And for some breaking news for you, this very, very day, some of RTD's fans have turned really nasty on him. We're going to be looking at
damn shame.
Well, to
Bunch
be
of
honest,
hypocrites they are, aren't they? Let's be honest.
listen, I'll tell you, to be honest, I'm actually not impressed with it. I mean, you will see when we get to it, you'll see what I'm saying, but I'm actually quite worried for him, and I'm actually quite worried for those elements of the fandom. They call them fandom. As usual, though, I'd like to start with saying a huge thank you to everybody that's been getting in touch this week. You would not believe, guys. Thank you to everybody that was sending me, have you seen this? Have you seen this? Have you seen this? Have you seen this? It is so nice to know that if I miss something, you guys are going to send it to me. So there was a lot of stuff that I've seen, but it's all in the show tonight. And I want to say a huge thank you for making sure I've seen stuff. I really appreciate it. Make sure you keep it coming. As you know, you can get in touch with us at whosviews1@gmail.com. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And there's a lot of you. And I can't say hello to everybody, but I want to say thanks this week to Mark Milford, to John Mason, to Laura D, to Sean Cryer, to Rory Stanage, to Funky, to Fafty Head, to Martin Brown, to Linda Harper, to Paul Urbans, to Bob James, to John Keeley, to Steve Hinley, to Bill Lowry, to Alan Eveson, to Real Jerry Attrick, and to Andrea G. Thank you so much for getting in touch, and to everybody that got in touch. And I want to say a huge thank you as well to everybody that got in touch, saying how much they've enjoyed our May series 8 at 30. So I'm so glad you enjoyed it. We had a ball as well. It
was great. Yeah, loved it.
Yeah, we did.
Every minute of celebrating our 8th Doctor. And if you see us on our Facebook, or if you saw the poster put out here on the channel, you'll know The Eighth Doctor will return to the channel. There you go. So you know what we're doing there. He will return. This will be interesting for you, though, Third Doctor Ian. I want to say thanks to Jason G, who this weekend, or at least this week in the sun, was out and about and spotted this.
Lovely.
That looks like Scarborough.
And it is indeed. So that's 10 brownie points to you.
There's
My
an
God, I
almost
thought
like-
Edinburgh police boxes were bad, but that's an interesting
Yeah, but when you
innovation of the
first see
design.
it,
Yes.
when you
Yeah.
first at age 4, as I was, to recognise it, it sends a huge thrill through you. And
Yeah.
further into North Yorkshire, if you go to Ripon, there's a police museum in Ripon, and there's a virtually identical box there. And you know, yeah, they're odd, but they're wonderful all the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
At least the top bit looks very Doctor Who, doesn't it? The actual
Yes.
top
Yeah.
bit, yeah.
Yeah. But if you're a fan like me, everybody, because I've seen that as well at Scarborough, but you turn your nose up at it, don't you? We're kicking the evening off with a super chat from John Keeley. Thanks for everybody coming into the chat. Thank you for this, John. Good evening, gentlemen. Hope all are well. A bit of a controversial comment, but I think the movie steelbook back artwork is better than the front. It gives me Hollywood movie poster artist, the late Drew Struzan vibes. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. It's a gorgeous box set, though, isn't it, John? It
Yeah.
really is beautiful, as we said on our show last night on our review. But yeah, absolutely fantastic, and I've enjoyed that. And it's going to get put in its plastic box when it comes, and it's going to get put on the shelf and forgotten,
Never to be watched again.
never to be watched again. We've got lots of people in the chat with us. John Mason, hello to you. To Kirsty, the lady of the chat, thank you for looking after everyone. Ezra Goldstein, good to see you. Stephen Braddock's with us. Rory Neal is saying that the only baggage Doctor Who has got is RTD and Chibnall, ruining the legacy of Sidney Newman and Verity Lambert. It's hard to say that, isn't it?
Can't
really?
disagree with that, can you? Really, you
You
can't.
can't. You
Yeah.
can't.
They're not
disagree.
worthy to shine their shoes.
No, I mean, they've made so many mistakes now. They really have. Dark Hall, good to see you. Woodhouse 122 with us saying, I have a feeling Bad Wolf will be scrapping the TARDIS set in the near future. I have somebody perched outside the Bad Wolf studios now in a skip, waiting to nick all the bits that they put in there when it happens. Yes, and then I'll flog them all on eBay, I can assure you.
If they put any film cans there, though, JT, just let them burn, all right? Because, you know.
Well, the only thing they've thrown out right now was a tired old drag queen. So my mate just said, get out. No.
We should do a reenactment of Queen of the May from The Awakening. That'd be quite good, wouldn't it? Yeah. So-
Controversial. Legion of James,
yeah.
how are you? Good to see you. Hope the dogs are okay. Not long until the Masters of the Universe just saying. Yeah. Now, did you see what I did there, everybody? Did you see what I did? A little bit of the old JT magic there, because June is, of course, the Masters of the Universe movie that's coming out. I can't wait to go and see it. I'm going to have a great time and an ice cream. And I was thinking, there's only one real master of the universe, isn't there, boys and girls? And as a Doctor Who fan, we know who that is. And that's why June is our Master of the Universe month. And we've got a whole load of shows about the Master kicking off this Thursday live at 8 o'clock here on the channel with Master of the Universe, where we all get together to talk about the Master, Roger Delgado, Anthony Ainley, and the rest of them. We're going to be talking about all of them. Oh, yeah. So come and join us with your views and opinions. And it's another one of those rare shows here on Who's Views where this lot and you all get to talk about the Jodie Whittaker era. Yes.
Do we have to? Do we have to? Yeah.
We have to.
I think I've been sick a little.
We'll speak about it very, very quickly and move on. Yeah, that'll be, yeah.
Yeah, but there's lots to celebrate, and we are going to talk about the rest of it anyway. Andy, hello to Andy for X9I. No one wants to play the Doctor, so McGann has gone on record as wanting to return. What else have we all been saying here on this channel for the last few months? They've just missed, I can tell you, they have just missed the opportunity to get Paul McGann on set right now doing a cracking script for Christmas, which people would watch. That's what we wanted. We wanted Paul McGann. Never mind all this thing with Billy and all that crap. Let's forget all that. Let's go back to the Eighth Doctor and let's give him that feature-length episode he so deserves again after all this time in his 30th anniversary year.
Yeah.
That would have got people watching. And I think they've just missed the chance because we are now 10 past 8 on the 31st of May, 2026. Tight, tight, tight. George O'Donnell, it's good to see you. Matt the Silent, nice to see you. Hello, Cara the Tolkien Nerd. It's lovely to see you as well. Loads of people with us to the chat. So I'm going to get right onto this. Richard, Richard Brooks saying to Jodie's era, no! Depends how much they want to talk about it, because I don't know anything about the master.
Well, I'd like to talk about just to criticize it. That'd be quite good. Yeah,
well, that's
quite
quite
therapeutic, I'd think, as well. Yeah. So
yeah, well, it's great. Rory Neal saying to us, they won't skip the set. They will burn it the same as Crossroads, set outside the Slough building of Jerry Anderson made all his puppet shows from for ATV. Well, we'll soon find out, won't we?
Do you remember the Crossroads fire? Remember that?
Yeah.
That was such it was like the towering inferno. It really was.
It
wasn't
was, wasn't it?
It was. And we had that whole... I was terrified. About Meg Foster, or whatever her name was. Can't remember.
Meg Mortimer.
Yeah. That's when they got rid of it, wasn't
or
it?
Or Richardson, whatever she was before that. Yeah,
I can't remember. Too old. Cool and dry. Mark wants to know, Third Doctor Ian, how is Edith? So give us a quick update on Edith.
Edith's very well, actually. If you find me on Insta at all, you'll see that I posted a video from Saltburn Beach on Tuesday morning. We went very early in the morning on Tuesday, so before it got hot. And there's a video of her tearing out of the sea to the beach to her mum. And she's really done well. We're very proud of her. Thank you very much for
that.
Yeah, I've seen that video. She looks like she's bionic now. It's superb. It really is good. Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it?
I wish I had her energy. I'll tell you, she's well advanced. Thank you for asking about that, Mark.
Yeah,
lovely to see you. And Digby, thank you for your super chat. Evening, gents. Has Christmas just regenerated into Easter? Well, it could possibly have done. So let's look at this together, everybody, shall we? Because this is great news. Because this is, as I say, this is stuff that we've been discussing here on Headlines for God knows how many months now. And it's really great that finally somebody has heard something quite similar to what we've been saying and decided to go with it. The news, of course, broke on Monday in the Sun newspaper with Rod McPhee, the TV editor. Now, Rod knows his stuff, I have to tell you. He has various contexts around. So he knows his stuff. Out of time, hit TV show's Christmas special could be scrapped because bosses can't find anyone to play the lead character. Let's get into this then, everybody. The Doctor Who Christmas special may be scrapped as show bosses cannot find anyone to play the Time Lord. The most recent series ended last May with star Ncuti Gatwa leaving amid viewers' anger at woke storylines. He's being very polite there when he says, anger. We could come up with a few other words that are stronger.
Effing livid, if you ask me. Yeah.
7 months ago, he continues, Lindsay Salt, the BBC director of drama, said she was delighted that writer RTD had agreed to pen a festive show for 2026. But bosses are now turning to Billy Piper, who we all know, of course, taking center stage in a special that would air at Easter 2027. And Insider said, despite reassurances that the show would be back on our screens with a new series, there's been no confirmation from execs about when that will be. And they proudly announced that the Doctor would be making a comeback in this year's Christmas special. Now, with less than 7 months to go, that looks like it's hanging in the balance too. The problem is that they have found it difficult to find anyone who'll take on the part of the 16th Time Lord, partly because it now feels like a role that comes with all the baggage of the most recent series. There are fears that even if they do manage to pull something together, it is going to be a poor cousin to previous Christmas specials, which have always been adored by fans. They have found it difficult to find anyone to be the 16th Time Lord, partly as it feels like the role has all the baggage. Announcing the festive show 7 months ago, Lindsay Salt, director of drama, said, as we reported, the BBC remains fully committed to Doctor Who, which continues to be one of our most loved dramas, and we are delighted that RTD has agreed to write us another spectacular Christmas special for 2026. And then my favourite part of this entire article was the BBC did not comment. Now, that's a running theme, isn't it, everybody? Because I actually did try to get in touch with various elements of the BBC this week, and nothing. I did get an email back saying the usual thing, guys, which was the BBC doesn't talk about anything that's in production, that sort of stuff, or whatever. That the copy and paste thing. That was one. Yeah. But I went to various other people or various other sources I've got, and said Well, do you want to give us a statement?
Yeah.
Hilarious. So that's the article that Rod put into the Sun on Monday, and all hell broke loose after that, didn't it? What a week! What a week, everybody! Because suddenly everybody was going either oh or ah. And we know the minority were going,
yes.
yeah. The only downside of all this, because this is now spurned into a week-long copycat stories for a whole week of things. And the only thing I think now about it is that, unfortunately now, it's drawn because of what happened after the article. Had it just been the Monday, it wouldn't have happened. But because it continued Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and yesterday, it's drawn attention to the fact that the Doctor Who episode isn't in production yet. And I think the BBC were just hoping it would just gently slip away, like we've said on the show before, because they didn't come out this week with a response. They weren't getting in touch with people like myself who were going, would you like to clarify this? I think they must again be kicking themselves, because I've said on the show before, guys, had they just cancelled this episode, this Christmas episode, a minority would have cared. I stand by that, Who viewers, because did the public give a jot this week?
No.
Do you remember 1985? That didn't happen again, did it?
No, it didn't.
And there's my point, guys, of what we've been saying for all this time. No one cares apart from a minority of Doctor Who fans, alleged Doctor Who fans. No one, because we certainly don't want it. A lot of you in the chat don't want to watch it. We've got over 200 people watching us live at the moment at 8:15. You guys don't necessarily want it. Go on, Paul.
I still think the BBC made the announcement about the Christmas special last year, whenever it was, just to pacify fans and shut them up, with no intention of making a special at all. I think it was all just PR to shut people up, and it's come and bit them back on the arse a little bit, to be honest. I think, yeah.
I think that they did it because somebody just said, "Yeah, okay, go ahead," because we usually do that, and somebody else later on down the line went, "Who signed this off?"
I'm not sure.
You're fired.
I'm not sure if they thought that the fish thing might give it a shot in the arm.
Oh, that's the point. We forgot about that, didn't we?
It didn't. It just reinforced how it was a dead franchise because of the sheer incompetence of the Pillocks in charge of it. And but they'd already committed to it by then, on paper anyway. And they were a little bit stuck at that point, but then they should be a little bit more competent, really, shouldn't they?
Yeah, as we've said many times before, BBC Studios, for an organisation that is responsible for handling multi-million-pound ventures, not very businesslike. Really haven't a clue, especially when it comes to Doctor Who. But I do think this week there must be people in BBC Studios who are actually walking around going, "Oh no!"
Yeah,
because this didn't break to, let's be honest, as I say, it didn't break to the general public. The public has gone. The public doesn't care about Doctor Who now. It doesn't matter how we all talk about it. It doesn't matter how many members of the press put in lovely column fillers about the show. It doesn't matter how much the alternative media on YouTube or television now talk about Doctor Who. It's usually derogatory. The message has got through. The public watched Doctor Who, decided they didn't like it, got rid of it, and then they hear all this stuff. Oh, it's woke. Oh, it's this and it's that. And they're right. They're absolutely right to judge it by going, it's a load of nonsense. I don't want to see it. But somebody somewhere must be going, oh, now we've got to react to this. And what are we going to do? Because the thing isn't in production and we haven't got a doctor. Blah, blah, blah. Do you know?
What is interesting, I also think, though, the press are very interested in this, aren't they? Which is quite surprising for a franchise that's apparently dead. It seems to still fill column inches, which is great. But like you say, the public are turned off by it because it's rubbish now. It used to be good. When it was good, the public loved it. And so did the journalists. They would praise it, But now that seems trying to bury it as well, which is interesting. So
but you see the comments in the newspapers. And I don't take a physical newspaper. I'll read them online. And they all have comments for each article. you know, and you look at the comments, and it's virtually all dislike, anger, and vitriol, you know. And this is the general public. These aren't Doctor Who publications, so you're not talking about fans here. And they're all talking about how it's just the woke storylines, the messaging, Whittaker, Gatwa, and just, you know, everything white bad, you know, all of it. It's all there. People are very much aware of it. People don't like it, and people hate it now. And it wasn't that in 1989. It was just a bit embarrassing in 1989. But between 1989 and 2005, it had grown a treasured place in people's memories. That won't happen this time.
Yeah.
He's destroyed that. Him and all the others have seen to that. That's gone.
Yeah.
And they don't realize it. And people, you're right, people just don't care.
And this is the problem. We've spoken about this before here on Headlines, haven't we, guys, about what you just said, Ian, is the fact that there is no legacy now for youngsters to build on. The audience they went for are a minute amount of very loud-mouthed, purple-rinsed, pronoun-using morons who will hopefully grow into the real world and not stay on Fantasy Island for too much longer. Because they told all of us, the fans that supported it through 15 years off air, the decent fans that came with it when the show came back with Eccleston, they told us to go away. It's not for you now. It's for this sector. It's for this. And I don't blame the media for getting at it. If I was in the media, I'd do it on here, because you've got to call this nonsense out. And what these people have done is they have ruined our beautiful show, the longest running science fiction show in the world. It is British. Fantastic.
Careful, copyright there.
I can do it within 30 seconds. But they've destroyed it, and they don't seem to care. And now look at the mess they're in. Digby saying to us, it is interesting that RTD was on the BBC News at 1 p.m. midweek promoting Tippy Toe, and not a single mention of his recent work on Doctor Who. More of that coming up in the show, because it is interesting, isn't it? Hello, Julianne. How are you, my darling? The BBC have got no money. They're so skint. They are sending debt collectors out to put the squeeze on the public. They have no money to spend on an RTD Christmas spectacular failure. Thank goodness. Now, it's interesting because we've got to remember, Julianne, it's not the BBC doing Doctor Who. BBC One may have contributed some finance into the show, but it's BBC Studios, the corporation's commercial arm. They do have a bit of money. I think they keep wasting it.
I think they've cut the commercial arm off, to be honest. I think that they've killed any chance of making any money from it, and they must be livid for Russell.
Yeah.
The fact that he's killed the golden goose. Really, that must be awful. You know.
I think, remember we said a couple of months ago, whenever it was, that I believed, and then you guys agreed with me. Let's clarify that. I think he's gone. I think he has gone. We've got some more stuff in here to say, yes, he's gone. He's gone from Doctor Who. He's done. And thank God for it. Rick Storm is saying, 'twas the night before Christmas and we got the all clear as the special was cancelled and we all gave a cheer.
Very good.
Very, very good, Rick. Well done. Philip Shaw is joining us with the BBC are embarrassed with the programme, but want all the plaudits and the merchandise. You are right. You are right. I think you've got a point there, mate. I really do. We've also got Funky saying some things never change. The sun causing panic. I don't think that's true, Funky. I don't think it was necessarily about the fact. I mean, what Rod has done here, he has heard stories, and as I said, he's got a lot of contacts. He's got a lot of real professional industry contacts, and they've told him more or less what we've been talking about for months. And I'm really pleased that Rob broke the thing and put it out there, because it ties up with what we've been discussing on this show, and we are all adults on this channel. And I mean, you guys in the chat as well, and we got it right. The Prince, thank you for that, though, mate. The Prince lover, how are you? You know, Prince is one of my ultimate favorites. God love him. God love him. Oh, all mine are practically gone. There's only Madonna that's around now, and she's batty as a fruitcake. But the Prince lover is saying, how are you guys doing? I'm doing not so bad. How about you two?
We're fine. I'm quite pleased that the Christmas special is cancelled. In fact, that means there's no more embarrassing Russell T Davies episodes to come, hopefully.
Yeah, I'll share that.
Yeah,
I'll share that. Doing well as well. Thank you.
When's Tip 2 on? I'll need to go in a minute. Sorry.
Don't you dare. MDB18468, he says, trying his very best Captain Kirk impression. The BBC should be honest and admit it will be going in limbo for a few years. Absolutely. Why are they letting a minority of fans clinging on the way they do? And they're a complete denial. You know them all. We have seen them on Facebook and Twitter. They can be very aggressive when the world doesn't go the way they want them to. And right now they are in meltdown. And Liam, I am actually genuinely very concerned. As I've said last year, I'm very concerned for some of them because they're losing the plot.
Well, we're still open to give them counselling, aren't we? Remember the Who's Views counselling line? So you get that up again, don't we, really, to be honest?
Do you think, though, that the BBC has attached itself so much to niche causes, that, and this being one of them, the TQI, however many letters and symbols and everything, and they know how militant they are, that they're actually scared to confront them and say that they're actually trying to swerve it and dodge it because they just don't want the backlash, because that's going to be one of their major target audiences that will turn around and hate them, because we know how quickly they turn. And I think the BBC's scared, quite frankly.
I think you have a point. I mean, we know how infiltrated the BBC are with far left alleged activists. A lot of that has come out over the last few days as well, hasn't it? Let's be honest, and we know that's a fact. For those of us who have people that work within certain organizations, they can confirm things, and that's the frightening thing. But I think you have a point there. I do think they were hoping that somehow this thing might just go away and they wouldn't have to say anything, because it's been very quiet, and it's still very quiet. Cara the Tolkien Nerd, thank you so much for your super chat. I know you have to cover them, but can you be as brief as possible with Shruti? Yes, we're not going to talk much about him tonight because he's kept his mouth shut this week. So don't you worry, Cara. We're not really going to talk much about I called him Fruity. About Mr. Gatware. But we are going to be talking about RTD. So here's your 15-minute alarm, because it is coming up. But thank you, Cara. Very good of you. Stay with us. It's nearly over, though, darling. I can tell you, it's nearly over. We're going to be making it through a new wilderness, as Madonna nearly once said.
And none of these so-called fans will be around to support any possible future. They'll be off, causing trouble on another franchise, probably. Yeah.
And you know what you were saying about,
apparently, isn't it?
You know what you were saying, though, about how the BBC are probably livid with him because he's damaged the franchise to the point that it'll impact the amount of money they get. But they're culpable with that, because they could have stopped him at any time. They could have said no. I think so, because ultimately it was being made by BBC Studios, but it was being put out on BBC television, and they could have said, "This is not what we want. This is not what we want to say." He said that nobody could tell him anything, didn't he?
No one could stop him now, basically, didn't he?
But if they refused to put it out,
I genuinely reckon that's the case, because I don't think they look at the work. Because remember that email I got back to them when I complained about RTD when he did something. I can't remember what it was, and he did something, and I complained, and I got that email back saying that Russell T Davies is one of the best writers in the United Kingdom. He's got words and he's got a jammed heart, and he's very good. Oh, we love him. Remember?
Yeah.
So I don't think they were looking at it. And also because BBC One, it was BBC Studios, and we know how the BBC loves all the DEI. And they were, let's face it, they were basically just doing the tick box that the DEI from the BBC was, because we also reported a while ago, everybody, about how much money the BBC spends on the DEI. It's out of the license fee payers' money, and it's disgraceful. And this week in the United Kingdom, in my eyes, we have seen the result of just how bad DEI can be in the public sector. Yeah. If they ever tell you to go on unconscious bias training, decline it and say no, because that's what's wrong. It's exhausting. The whole thing is exhausting. But I honestly, I don't know what you're saying, Ian, but honestly, I don't think anybody could have told him that, because they were so keen to keep him because he made the success of it last time. And I genuinely
on a pedestal, wasn't it?
To do it again.
Yeah,
but no, he used it for his own poisonous platform.
Well, like we said, they needed a Mal Young or someone in there to stop him, and Julie
Yes.
Gardner and Phil Collinson, etc. They're all complicit in this. They have to be
Yes.
take responsibility as well, because they could have said no, that's one step too far, but they never bothered.
No, they didn't.
No.
They just let him get on with it, didn't they?
Yeah.
So to back up what Ian was saying, they needed that. They needed that Mal Young character there. Absolutely. But no, they're all part of that echo chamber bubble now, aren't they? Kissing his arse. And that's why now Doctor Who is being flushed down the toilet. All they'll be able to do now will be a clip show for Christmas Day, said Woodhouse 122. Farsight is saying RTD has made the show a laughing stock. I think it's worse than that, to be honest.
Yeah.
John Mason, hello to you. That's right, JT. It is a disgrace. Hello to Dalek Shalom. It is good to see you. Digby, yeah, that's fine. Philip Tassini, nice to see you. Good evening, guys. History repeats itself, doesn't it? Just. By the way, my son and I will be coming to Blackpool next year. Tickets booked and Parkhouse Hotel booked. The Grand Hotel was fully booked, so no surprise there. Well, we can't wait to see it. I have to tell you that I checked the Grand Hotel this week, and I've been reliably informed by the Grand Hotel there are rooms, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. If you're nearby, don't worry about it. We're still going to get to see it on the Friday night, so don't worry about it. If you're new to us, we'll talk a bit like later, because I think we're going to need a bit of cheering up through this show. But Philip, I'm so delighted that you're going to be able to come and see us. Oh no, here we go. Rory Neal saying Dimensions in Time. Dimensions in Time with Capaldi and the rest of the Alive Doctors. No, because they'd have to include Anne Whitaker.
Yeah, and they'd have to include the current EastEnders cast as well. At least in 1993, we had Mike Reid in there, which was great, and we had Pam St. Clemens and people like that, you know, who are actually quite good characters. Was Barbara Windsor wasn't it? Was she? I don't think she was. No, she wasn't.
I can't remember, Paul. It's a long time ago.
You need to watch it again, JT.
It wouldn't be canon, though, would it, JT? Would it really?
No, it's not
Well, it
canon.
was on the telly. It was on the telly. So there we go. Unlike Night of the Doctor, which someone said that doesn't make it canon, which I'd rather have that canon than Dimensions in Time. Yeah. Yes.
Aurum is saying to us, Aurum, we are going to be coming to this later, so make sure you remind me. Why was BBC News promoting a Channel 4 drama? A minute or two on the One show would be more than enough. Yeah, the BBC News this week spent a considerable amount of time reporting on RTD's new TQ cult drama on Channel 4. Very, very strange stuff there. The only thing I could think of, Aurum, is because it aligns with their tick boxing beliefs.
Yeah.
You know, but not once did he talk about Doctor Who. We are going to be coming to that in this show, everybody. So keep it with us. What else? Terrified Monk, hello to you. They should just make the Christmas special a Doctor Who Greatest Hit clip show. I think it's too late for that now. I don't think anybody's going to watch that at all either.
Yeah.
You know, I really don't. And hello to Rose Kirby, who's joining us as well. Hey, folks, 1 year today at 2030, Wishworld and Reality War was showing at a showcase cinema in Derby. That's the day Doctor Who died. Rose, yeah, I mean, it's yes and no. The Reality Kitchen Sink was shown a year ago to the day. Yeah, do we care? Not really. I would argue with you there, Rose, politely, of course, that Doctor Who died well before the Reality Kitchen Sink. It was well on its way with Whittaker, and then this crap that we got was just the final nail in the coffin, buried it, put all the soil over it, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness me. What else have we got? Lots of you in the chat. I've also got, here's Miles D. Nice to see you. Howdy, Who panel. I missed the vid on the 4K TV movies yesterday, but I've caught up earlier today. You've convinced me to grab a copy quick. It looks beautiful.
Start saving up.
Thank you, Miles. It's good to see you. And Small Swalgo, it's great to see him joining us live as well, because he's usually in the studio recording. Small Swalgo saying, I don't believe it. They can't muster unknown actors who don't care about all that baggage and just want to play. I think it's sensationalism. If you're a young actor, though, why would you want to go into a dying franchise which could basically harm your career, Small Swalgo?
Yeah.
I wouldn't, would you? Being honest.
We don't want a young actor playing anyway. You don't want somebody older, somebody with gravitas. That's what we want. Or mavitas.
It'd be a death sentence for anybody, really, wouldn't it, for their career?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Prince Lover, no, the thumbnail for our TV movie Blu-ray review is actually the cover of the Blu-ray. Okay, there's your answer there. It was from the publicity that they sent out. And Kev Gresham, cheers, Kev, how are you? Just goes to show how much of a grifter RTD and the mob are. I think the cancellation is a positive for us true fans. We were told to touch grass. Now they can't even find a doctor when needed. Oh,
Yep.
They just go to show that we've said this many times. Classic Who and the TV movie we love. You know, the missing episode has been returned recently, was fantastic. The reaction to the TV movie sales going to #1 is fantastic. We want that, not the new stuff. So give us more old stuff, please.
As I keep saying, Paul, they had the chance. They could have brought McGann back with a decent script from somebody, and they haven't bothered. And it's such a shame. In fact, it's criminal. Marine Boy, thank you for your chat there. Though the BBC love their drag queens, I think it's telling when they pick normal presenters for Strictly Come Dancing over a popular drag queen. 3 of them as well. 3 presenters now for the new.
Josh Widdicombe is an odd choice, I have to say.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Not that I really watch, I don't really care.
I find him very unfunny. I find him very unfunny.
Comedians today are.
Yeah, in the same way that I find people like Ramesh Ranganathan unfunny, and other people like that, Catherine Ryan, and Rosie Jones. Dear God, people like that. They're just not funny, and I don't see the point at all. Really.
Super chat from Mark Greaves. Thank you, Mark. Do you remember the old Top Gear sketch where Clarkson had to go to a management meeting and everyone around the table was in a wheelchair and every minority going? He saw this crap coming back then. I do remember him talking out a lot about stuff like that, and he still does, of course. So yeah, and we've got another super chat here from the Chorus Sci-Fi Fantasy. Welcome to the New Wilderness years, and I'm happy to be here. I've been busy working on my own Doctor Who novel, which I'll be self-publishing, and it retcons everything from 2018 onwards. Now, this is the thing, it's Chorus Sci-Fi Fantasy. It's easy to do. It's very easy to do. You don't have to deal with it, and that's what they're going to have to do for any new story. They're going to have to look at it and make some decisions, you know.
Just not to mention any of it again, like we said with the half human thing. If you don't mention it, just move on. Just move on. Forget it. Move on. You know, that's it. You know. Yeah,
exactly. Got a lot with you in the chat as well. Nice to see you all. Yeah, you're right, Rory. He's saying that the BBC and Channel 4 are still public funded and it's a disgrace. It shouldn't be allowed. And we've got Mark Reeves for a super chat here saying, let's just cut the crap. There's a way around this Christmas special. It's called Who's Views, BBC One, 7 p.m. Christmas Day. Are you mad? I'd be too coloured sprouts with a bit of love.
Yeah. I guess it's all with our advocate as we come on with it. That'd be good. This, yeah.
It was like, oh, the Merry Christmas to all of you at home. That'd be quite funny. Now, I do have some updates for you on this story as well, if I may, actually, everybody. Let me just read up your email here. Hang on 1 second. Here we are. Apparently, Billy is filming Wednesday, which is the Addams Family spin-off, isn't it, for Netflix?
Yeah.
In Ireland until at least late August or early September. So we know, as we've said before, they can't really do anything until if she's going to be in it until she's released, which won't be until probably mid-September. So you're looking at late September for her to turn up in any sort of shoot. Yeah. And then I've got this here, which is awfully late to say it needs to be done by December. Then they'd be doing screenings and publicity in late November. Okay. Plus, as far as my contacts know, there's not a jot of prep work taking place. Now, again, that ties in with other stuff that we've been spent because there's nothing going on at Bad Wolf. And in fact, there is another series shooting in Bad Wolf where they have built incredible sets. They have rebuilt the Houses of Parliament because it's this other thing about another Prime Minister thing going on or something. I did have all the details, but I've just, of course, just gone and lost it all. I'm so organized tonight. But yeah, so that's there, that's happening. And that's taking up a lot of their sets and their time. So that's what's going on at Bad Wolf, but it's not Doctor Who. Make of that what you will.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. When they made the first Christmas special, the Christmas Invasion, did they not film that quite late in the year and they got it ready for Christmas?
Yeah. I get a lot of that. I've had people saying to me, "Oh yeah, but they filmed Time of the Doctor in a month or 2 months." Yeah, but look how crap it was.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
You
But
know,
this
and
is not going to be anything other than crap, surely, whether they film it for 6 months or not. So
yeah. Well, the
yeah.
fact is, the fact is that Murray Gold let it slip, as we reported on the show, and as we now know, there are several versions of a script out there, depending on an artist's availability.
That's the wrong criteria to do a good
Yes.
episode of something, surely. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah.
It is. So, what does that mean? Which artists? Does anybody really care? I know I really don't. Heretic for a super chat. Thank you, mate. Did you notice Hooniverse show announced 2 doctors who hadn't been on the show before, but McGann's footage was from the cinema screening and there was no drag queen? I did notice that. Crystal Meth interviewed both Sylvester McCoy and Paul McGann. I haven't got through it yet. I have to watch it for reasons I won't go into, but I do have to watch it. And I only managed about 5 minutes so far, but I'll have to get there, Heretic.
I was the same. I watched 5 minutes, then turned it off. So I don't think I can watch any more.
It's so juvenile. And I'm just thinking, who is this for? Because not even the minority of the fans that they're aiming all the drag queen crap at are watching it. You know, and
Well, at least your coffee wasn't on it. That's good for one thing, I suppose. Yeah.
One step in the right direction, isn't it? Yeah.
Maybe he's been fired. Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Well, I doubt it. I think he was probably just too confused over what frock to wear for which doctor.
He could have done that Tommy Cooper thing, couldn't he? Half McGann, half McCoy. That'd be quite good, you know. And just turned around like that and did that kind of thing. That'd be quite fun. Yeah.
To misquote a famous song, says Philip Roy. Hi, Philip. Must email you in the week. I keep forgetting. There's nothing going on but the rant. Love it. Hello, AFJ Kernow. Lovely to see you. The chat with McCoy was lovely. He's a funny interviewee. I enjoyed it. Good, because I'm going to go and watch it eventually. So thank you for that. I'm glad.
His interview on when Janet met Sylvester is really good, though. I have to say, I did like that. Yeah.
I haven't watched that yet because I went to watch it after our show last night and got caught up doing some other stuff. Bedweir's with us. How are you, Bedweir? The Time of the Doctor filmed in September and October 2013 before being broadcast on Christmas Day, and you can tell. And Stephen O'Neill is saying to us, Time of the Doctor is still better than the last 8 years of Doctor Who. I'd put it very firmly, Stephen, in the same category. It was awful. It was bloody awful. This was a point when Doctor Who was also in trouble. It just didn't get the headlines because we weren't on.
Yeah.
It was definitely a missed opportunity for Matt Smith to go out on, really, because I mean Matt Smith was great, but what a bloody awful episode, honestly, really.
Yeah, it was also rushed. Don't forget, because he was supposed to do 3 series. He didn't, you know, because they split that series 7 into 2, didn't they?
Yeah, and season 6 as well, didn't they? Both were 2 halves, weren't they? Yeah.
Season 7 though was 1 year and part 2 the year after, so they could say it was on every year. So we lost an entire season with Matt Smith because of production clashes behind the scenes, i.e., people couldn't be bothered and they were too focused on something else. So I'm still quite bitter about that because he deserved that final big season to tie up his Doctor. You know, it was so rushed.
Wasn't Moffat still quite a lot obsessed with Sherlock as well at that point?
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
So he was.
Yeah. That brings me to our poll for this evening, everybody. I've got a poll for you in the chat. If you're in the chat with us, you can get into this now. It's very simple, and I want to keep this very, very simple tonight. I'm going to ask you all in the chat right now: does Doctor Who need a rest? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Go. Does Doctor Who need a rest? Type 1 in the chat if you think it does. Type 2 if you don't. Okay. We will be coming to that a bit later on. Thank you for going through that, and could do that 1 or 2. All right, it's there for you now. Okay, so we're going to move on to the fallout, I'm going to say, of Rod's article on the Monday. So I read the article on the Monday and thought, oh, this is interesting because this ties in with what we've been discussing. Fantastic, aren't we? Aren't we good? And I wasn't ready for what was going to happen for the rest of the week. Everything. YouTubers were talking about it, and so was the British media, including our favourite woke newspaper, the Woketro. Yes, the Metro. Now, this one was written by Rebecca Cook. Doctor Who is struggling to fill the TARDIS. One man is to blame. Now,
who could that possibly be?
Can you guess who it can be?
Oh, that's a hard one. Pardon me.
Yes, let's have a look at this because she's putting the blame onto RTD. The article goes on like this. It feels like some time ago when Gatwa's run as the 15th Doctor came to a desperate end. Now, remember, this is the Metro. And as he regenerated into Billie Piper, it went down so badly that the sex education star poked fun at the half-baked reveal during the Saturday Night Live UK monologue nearly a year later. Doctor Who will now officially have to make good on that head-scratching maneuver after the BBC confirmed the Time Lord will be back in 2026 with a Christmas special penned by RTD. But I'm not so sure. Because if you're an avid Whovian, you'll know the dire whispers from the gossip mill have not quieted in recent months, despite the BBC's apparent renewed faith in the TARDIS. It has now been reported by The Sun that the Christmas special might have to be scrapped because nobody wants to step into the TARDIS as the 16th Doctor. The Time Lord has been labelled a poisoned chalice by insiders, which is a staggering admission when you consider the transformational effect it once had on the careers of its stars. A reported stumbling block in the casting process has been the baggage of the recent series of the show. After endless headlines and hints, it was announced that Disney officially ended its partnership with the franchise, but RTD is still in as a showrunner. However painful as this is to say, I think the current struggle to fill the TARDIS proves the time has come for him to leave. The BBC might have asked RTD back so that he could address his own shameless nostalgia grab insertion of Piper into proceedings, which certain fans likened to the last-ditch efforts to right a sinking ship. But it's clear from the reported ongoing search for the Doctor that the BBC doesn't want to settle for some Rose Tyler fudge, or perhaps even Piper doesn't want to do it. You can hardly blame her given the reception. Or maybe RTD is still on board because there just isn't a comprehensive sense of how existential the problem Doctor Who currently faces is. With record low ratings and no Doctor to pilot the TARDIS, this is a battle to keep us interested, and cheap tricks aren't going to work. Or maybe RTD is still on board because there just isn't a comprehensive sense of how existential the problem Doctor Who currently faces is. Oh, sorry, I've just read that, sorry. I want to caveat what comes next by saying that I think RTD is a visionary who is in large part the reason we're all here still talking about Doctor Who after the TV show was quietly shelved in the 80s. I have no doubt that in the years since he revived the franchise in 2005, let's say it again, it's 2005, can we all get over it, please? He has come across obstacles which he has overcome confidently. He's a legend, allegedly, but I no longer believe he is the right person to run this show. I felt this for some time, specifically since I watched Space Babies. In the first season of Gatwa as the Doctor, the episodes I like best are Boom and, surprise, surprise, Scylla's here, Rogue. They were the only ones not written by RTD. The obvious exceptions to this was Lux, a bravado episode with an exquisite meta-interlude that spoke to how hard to please this fandom can be. And yet one episode does not a brilliant series make. Even Gatwa animated into 1950s Miami couldn't get a bump in the ratings. It was one of the lowest viewed episodes in what were already paltry viewing figures across the series. The article continues. Elsewhere in Gatwa's run, I was disappointed instead of solid storytelling, we had callbacks and cameos, plus the Disneyfication of a fundamentally British cultural institution. Classic villains were eschewed in favour of a toothless, silly variety. Again, the less said about Space Babies, Bogeyman, the better. Presumably to appeal to Disney kids. And everything hardcore Whovians know in their bones was explained as if it was for the first time. Even the release schedule was engineered for a time difference when the seasons were numbered as season 1 and season 2 were procured by Disney, as if what had gone before didn't matter. Then when none of that was working and Gatwa decided to peace out, it felt like Davis was using the nostalgia of Piper to survive. However, Disney's lack of commitment will be better for the show going forward. It means Doctor Who can do less cringy bootlicking to American audiences. But an RTD pivot from what he has advocated for years, harping on about the coming to me's of the BBC and the need for Who to go global, feels fundamentally unsustainable. He was the loudest advocate for Disney's involvement and the money and the money that what's that mean? And the moneyed door it opened to this newfangled Whoniverse, promising it would become a sci-fi version of the Marvel universe. The current state of both franchises is strikingly similar. The fact that we're still awed by David Tennant, Catherine Tate, or Billie Piper returning to our screens is evidence of the mark RTD has made on Doctor Who. but there is little in his recent tenure to compare to what he did in 2005, and that's a problem. If Doctor Who is going to once again rise from the ashes, we need someone who actually wants to do it, and that likely requires new ideas. Who, you might ask, could replace him? If we're fan casting, I would love to see what Black Mirror creator Charlie Brooker, again, would do with the Doctor. Whether he would fancy the scrutiny is another matter. Although given all three showrunners during the modern era have been men, I would be a welcome sight to see a woman in the job. Kate Herron and Bryony Redmond. No, they're not British.
No.
The duo behind standout episode Rogue. Standout episode, please. I'm just going to please move on from that because I'm about to be violently ill. The exchange between the Doctor and Rouge in his ship was the most compelling of the series, set to Kylie's Can't Get You Out of My Head. It pains me to say all of this because I still think RTD is brilliant, and Lux proved he can still contribute as a one-off writer if needed. But there's also so many times you can mount the mammoth task of revitalizing a once phenomenally successful franchise as a showrunner. It's time RTD left the job to someone else. This is the Woketro, everybody. Guys, what do you think of that?
Well, I'm going to say again, we've said this many times, it wasn't Russell alone that made it a success. Okay, he got to bring it back with his pestering the BBC and his enthusiasm for it, but the success of season 1 wasn't entirely due to him. We have to stress that. And people forget that, don't they? They keep saying, it was him, he's a god, he's wonderful. It wasn't just him, was it?
No, not at all. And also because, as we've said many, many times on this show, for all of you watching, when it came back in 2005, it had a massive, 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 massive support from us.
Yeah.
The original fans who'd been waiting 15 years with one interlude in 1996. We were there to support it. Yeah. We're not going to be next time round. We will not be there next time round. It's as simple as that. It would for me, it would have to move heaven and earth and look stunning and be stunning with a serious actor and a backup team that knew how to talk to fandom as well as the public. None of this go and touch grass. None of this, oh, we don't need you. None of this, it's not for you. It's none of this, oh, because we can. No, I want to see something grown up. Just like Philip Siebel was when he came on to talk to us. He thought about things. He developed things in his head. He was an adult.
So, I mean, there's a reason, obviously, that the ratings were very, very low, partly from what you've just said, that they've told us to go away, it's not for us. But as we said, the BBC have no idea about having a business plan, no idea at all. So if they kept to that and invested the show on everyone, as the show's always been for everyone, not for a minority, it would have probably worked. But because they didn't, and the ratings show 2 million, was lower than 2 million, it's terrible, absolutely terrible, regardless of streaming nonsense and all that kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
And it was an absolute load of donkey toss. Let's be honest.
It was, yeah.
There was nothing redeeming about it at all. But that article, apart from saying RTD should sling his hook, and yeah, he should permanently. But the way that I mean, Rebecca Cook is that Benjamin Cook's alter ego? I don't know.
The article would have been shorter, even if it was a
yeah, you're not wrong.
So, yeah,
the comment about it being 1989 quietly shelved, it wasn't. There was absolute bloody outrage, and it continued and it built through the 90s, which is why it kept on going. It was healthier in the 90s when it was off the air than it has been in the last 10 years with it on the air. Yeah. And that speaks volumes for what was going on then compared to what it's going on now and the absolute knob rockets that have been running it. But here we are, still talking about it.
I love the euphemism on the article about Gatwa piecing out. That was interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that at all. Sorry.
Is that a euphemism? Probably is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Loads of you in the chat joining us. Great. Keep the conversations coming. If by saving a sinking ship, you mean blowing a new hole in the hull, ... says Itagishi. And we've got Scott Enigma saying, we didn't lose the season of Smith. He did 3 full seasons. They just split them. Season, what was his first one? 6? No, 5.
Yeah, 5.
I think if they hadn't split them, we'd have probably had 4, wouldn't we?
That's it. So you're right, Scott. I got that wrong. He would have done a 4th. Because if we'd had the full season 5, as we did, broadcast in that pattern, then 6... which was one beginning of the year and the end of the year, but still in 1 year. It shouldn't have been doing that. It should have been one whole series. And then 7 was split between 2012 and 2013.
Yeah,
we would have got if they kept the production going the way they had done for Tennant's run, you would have had a 4th season with Smith, which
Yeah.
would have tied everything up beautifully. But no, Stephen Moffat had to go and do something different, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oram was saying to us that the eccentricity of the Doctor is a unique English or British thing. We aren't that country anymore, and less so every day. That's my point. I've said this on the show before, Oram, isn't it? Does Doctor Who now have a place in British culture? This country is unrecognizable. I do not recognize my own country anymore. This is not the United Kingdom I was brought up in. I've never seen anything like this before. And Doctor Who is a product of the 1960s. Does it have a place today in television today without ruining what is quintessentially a British show? I think they've just tried that, and I think it failed. I don't think it does, personally. I think you're going to have to just do something very, very clever and good. Josh, hello, Josh H. How are you? It needs a break, a long break, and then come back with a new everything, not have RTD half-arsing it. Surely he's near retirement now. Surely.
Yeah.
Again,
The thing about it is, though, is, he can probably continue writing for as long as he can persuade people to produce things for him. I would say he should retire because he's repeating himself constantly. But I think that he can write as long as he can write. I was going to say to keep all these marbles, but I think he's probably lost them already, to be fair. But
well, I might have some evidence that's coming up for you in this show. I'm Michael Webster. How are you? The saga around the Christmas episode is more interesting and entertaining than anything that Bad Wolf could produce. Yeah, it has been a week. Honestly, it's been a week. The news just kept coming and coming. And I told you this year would be a busy year. And, you know, I was expecting some sort of press release recently to say, look, we're not going to do it.
yeah.
And we'll move it, or we'll give it a rest. I was hoping to go back to the files of 1989 and Preeta Green.
Moving it to potentially Easter, they're just kicking the can down the road, aren't they? Really, that's what they're doing.
That's what they're doing. Yeah.
John Booth is saying only if we have a new Doctor. Oh, he's voted 2 in the poll. If we have a new Doctor, a new showrunner, and the new Doctor regenerates from Capaldi's Doctor. Yeah, you know, yeah. The whole thing about that piece as well from Rebecca Cook in the Metro. Of course, she's going to love Rogue. One of the most divisive, if not the most divisive episode in Doctor Who history ever. The one that actually, for me, clarified this was not the Doctor I was watching. The one that turned the Doctor into a lustful, deceitful, uncaring, attention-seeking, all about him, narcissistic character whose only aim in that story was to bed the Rogue.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It was disgusting. And I speak as a gay man. No, that's not who the Doctor is, and that's not what I want to see in the Doctor. The Doctor is a Time Lord from Gallifrey. He is above all that crap. This is where the show went wrong. And it's just typical that for somebody from the Metro, especially a woman, no offense, but a woman, what we used to call a fag hag, is going along the lines of going, oh, it's so lovely to see a gay romance. I can't stand them. I used to get so annoyed. I was so lucky that the girls that were around me when I was a young man weren't into all that crap, you know, but I've met them. Oh, it's so lovely to have gay men, and it's so lovely to, oh, it's lovely. Oh, go away. You know, it does my head in. But isn't it just typical that that's the one that she highlights? You know, the one that was really the one where we all went, what the hell was this? The one that made headlines around the world. And the one that was written by 2 simpering, awful American women that just did not know what Doctor Who was.
And that's the 2 that they said to be showrunner. Really? Honestly? Really? Yeah.
No, we don't want that. I have strict rules, as you'll know, Who viewers. Doctor Who has to be produced by British people.
Is one of them not British, one American in the pair? I don't know.
Couldn't tell you, but it doesn't count.
Fair enough, that's fine. Yeah, I'm up for that, yeah.
Tornado Chaser is agreeing with us by saying RTD has gone. It becomes more and more evident, doesn't it? And thank God for that. And he has kept it quiet. They haven't announced it, but from being also saying he has left. He's been in the rearview mirror for over ages. He was brought back in to fix his mess and wind up this rubbish, and he couldn't even do that. We've got lots of proof coming up for you very shortly on that, because he's absolutely gone. He's not there.
I hope the door hit him on the way out. I really do. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Driftport Entertainment, it's good to see a DPA. It needs a breather and the bite of the wilderness years again. Other good media released, and things like the Doctor Who magazine to find its feet again. Doctor Who magazine DPE will not survive the next wilderness years.
No.
Yeah.
He'd be very lucky to get through 2 years without the main show to kiss arse with.
It's dying on its arse at the minute anyway, and has been for a while.
Yeah.
But again, it's simply because we're not there to buy it.
No.
We're not there because they were just as bad. You know, they were just as bad. Remember, they were talking that whole, and I couldn't stand it. I reported on it last year, the year before, that whole bloody thing, the LGBTQ plus and whatever bloody acronym they've got today issue. Unbelievable and awful write-up from whoever wrote that article. And I can't remember because a lot's happened, but it was all in there. Terrible stuff. A lot of you talking about now possibilities, which is great in the chat. Sean Cryer saying to us, they are missing the point as usual.
Yeah.
Hello, Sandros Coronado. How are you? Hugh Grant can definitely do English eccentric. Hugh Grant, of course, has now gone on. I don't know if I should say it was on the record, but Hugh Grant was always associated with the role of the Doctor when he was big in the 90s.
Yeah.
And he did, of course, make a cameo in what Paul would, I expect, thinks is canon. In that
No, I don't. I don't. Okay, I don't. It's not got real doctors in it for a start, but they did do the first female
What was it
doctors. Yeah. The Curse of the Fatal Death, yes.
Written by Stephen Moffat. It does have the
Yeah.
Daleks in it, though.
Yeah, but
Hugh
that's...
Grant was, Hugh
yeah.
Grant was one of the incarnations in that.
Yeah.
Since then, of course, Doctor Who never goes far away from Hugh Grant, and he just said he thinks he's missed the opportunity, or words along that effect. About 4 or 5 years ago, somebody said, "Oh, Doctor Who, blah, blah, blah. Oh, no, I've missed the opportunity now. It's a young man's game," or something like that, he said. Hugh, if you're watching and I've misquoted you, phone me, tell me what you actually said, because I can't remember. Cheers.
But he was in the firing line, wasn't he, for casting before Eccleston? That was a suggestion, wasn't it, that Russell had as a potential first new Doctor? He was in the frame, I think, potentially at that point.
He was, because he was everywhere and he was so popular, and all the ladies loved him with his floppy hair and all that sort of stuff, you know. And then he had Then he had the incident in LA.
Yeah, with the prosy, yeah.
Yes,
But,
we didn't have to say, Paul. We didn't have to say. But you
sorry,
know,
I just wanted to make it clear. So I apologise to Mum if she's watching. I do apologise.
He had the incident in LA. It didn't really harm his career, though. Really,
No.
you know. And he kept going, and he's back, and he's brilliant in Paddington and all that. And he's done a lot of stuff, and I know he's got some other stuff coming out. So, you know. Chris Graham is saying to us, Rogue was the worst episode ever. Leaving Ruby to fend for herself is not what the Doctor would do, because he was so busy and trying to bed this guy just so that the writers in RTD could push an agenda. Oh, this Doctor's gay. No. It's not what we're not even gay. He was not what we want at all from Doctor Who. The majority of fandom would say that, I reckon. Here we go. Funky, thank you for your super chat. A busy week, but not the one we expected. Sorry, but I had to get a McGann reference in before the end of May. Quite right, too. That was the Woke-tro, everybody. And I was thinking, I wonder what our favourite Woke-tro journalist thought of all this. I wonder indeed. Well, she actually did respond. Now, these are independent journalists, of course, who are all writing for the Metro. So it was interesting when Asia came back with this headline: Doctor Who fans pinpoint the moment they knew the series wasn't working.
She's changed her tune, hasn't she? Yeah.
Well, she has a bit. We've seen this as we chronicle the adventures of Asia here on the show.
I wouldn't watch that if that was a series, I have to say.
No. But as you can see here, she does a recap here of the whole thing. Okay. Then in this part of the article, she talks about space babies. And then she talks about, in a nice way, this bit here. The Christmas episode had me concerned, and that was the one on Ruby Road, the church on Ruby Road.
Yeah.
Had me concerned. Space babies confirmed that the Disney thing was not working for me. Excuse me? You're the girl that defended the bloody thing, and we've got the receipts. We've got loads of blooming shows on this channel where we read out your stuff, where you're saying it's the best thing since sliced bread.
She's now realised she has to jump ship, isn't she? She realised, I need to be over here now, not here. That's the thing. Yeah.
She puts the ass in Asia, doesn't she, really? I mean, you're talking absolute 180 turnaround there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just, I just think, are you serious? You know, what are you saying here? Excuse me? Let's go back and look at our shows together, shall we, everybody? Because it's all in there. It's ridiculous. Then she also says, other Bones fans had to pick included the concept of bi-generation. Yes, really? Because it was crap. It was lazy. It was desperate. It was that. It was RTD saying, oh, I must do something different. I must do something different. We didn't want different. And then he didn't like it when all of us, because we're all bloody clever, came back and said, well, excuse me, what's the David Tennant doctor doing? Because he lives in Chiswick or wherever it is. So when there's an emergency like that fish thing, why doesn't he just come up? Because the doctor would, oh, no, he doesn't. Oh, please.
Yeah.
Oh, please. Asya, though, had this to say from her point of view, or POV as the kids say. Did Space Babies mark the downfall of Doctor Who? Yes, shut up. Senior TV reporter. Now notice this, everybody. She's now senior TV reporter. She's 10.
She's been promoted. My God. Who gave her the job? Yeah.
And alleged Doctor Who expert Asya Iftikhar weighs in. I'm afraid I agree with the majority when I say that Space Babies was far from my favourite episode of Doctor Who. It was slightly silly, that's an understatement, slightly cringy, another understatement, and was not a compelling story to tell, especially with a Doctor and companion we still hardly knew. The sci-fi show has had its fair share of clangers over the years, some that I have even grown fond of in hindsight. From eras gone by, there's been the double bill, Love and Monsters, and Fear Her. Other questionable episodes include Gridlock, Victory of the Daleks, Curse of the Black Spot, and Kill the Moon, among others. Everyone has an episode that didn't quite work for them. But all of these were nestled into the seasons when we had already fallen in love with the TARDIS team, and a stray poor episode here and there wasn't enough to deter us. In fact, it could even endear us. After all, there's no crime in Doctor Who being silly. It's a family show. Not anymore. But starting with Space Babies, when you're trying to convince a new audience to give the show a chance and prove Ncuti and Millie's star quality, was an abhorrent decision, enough to put off lifelong watchers, let alone new viewers. It's a shame as the 2 seasons also had some absolute gems, including Boom, 73 Yards, Surprise, Surprise, Rogue, Lux, The Well, The Story, and The Engine. That's
really?
What she says. Yeah. Now, what she's doing there is she's not quite tipping off the fence there, Who viewers, is she? Can you see that? She's keeping her options open in case this thing invites her to something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because she was actually talking a bit of sense there a little bit. Then she said Story of the Engine, and that just ruins her credibility whatsoever.
And Rogue.
And Rogue as well. Yeah, but Story of the Engine, people, that's apparently won an award. It's appalling.
It's terrible.
Barbershop Doctor Who, really rubbish.
Yeah, I mean the thing about that is she's going to like Rogue because she's part of the whole queer community. Yeah. Nadia Whittam in the Labour Party must have wet herself over that bloody episode because she's just as bad as them all. She's a complete lunatic, you know. So yeah, you know that's the sort of people that why the rest of us in the real world and not on Fantasy Island, we're cringing at every second. They're going, oh my God, this is so beautiful. It's so great. It's groundbreaking television. Oh, grow up and get up.
It was nauseating.
It was.
Yeah. JT, yes, Oram. The way you describe Doctor in Rogue sounds like the utterly self-absorbed, selfish, extremely dislikable Ollie Alexander character in It's a Sin. I think it shows what kind of twink RTD want. We won't be mentioning boy toys here on the show. That's his private business, boy toys. We don't mention boy toys at all on this show because that's his private business. No, I'm not having boy toys mentioned on this show at all. That's his private business. No mention of boy toys, please.
Okay, just checking. No boy toys. That's right.
No
okay.
boy toys.
Okay.
No, Paul, don't go there. That's his private business.
I won't.
That's his private business. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to talk about.
Not go where?
Boy toys. No boy toys. Nothing. Okay.
No. I must be the only person in the world that thinks It's a Sin was slightly hyped and a little bit too. Yes, it was a good drama, but I don't give it kudos. Or several years on, I thought, yeah, that was okay, but it was going to date again, even though it was set in the 80s. Yeah. And I have to say, I didn't like Ollie Alexander in the role either. I have to agree with you, Oram. I thought, oh, go and do a new album.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Not that I'd buy it these days. Legion of James, what are you saying to us? Any minute, the Doctor Who magazine will resort to reprinting back-issue articles with new covers claiming souvenir specials just to try and rake in some money. You heard it here first, Who viewers, because I can see that happening.
I think they're already doing it, aren't they? Let's be honest. Yeah.
Are they? Yeah.
Well, all the kind of specials. I know the McGann one recently was a bit more. It wasn't all kind of rehash, but some of them are the Daleks, the Cybermen, all that kind of stuff. You know, they're doing it already, aren't they?
True.
They have a
It's
certain
true.
amount of evergreen material that they keep repackaging, don't they? And I mean, Dalek specials, we've had at least 5 in the last 20 years, haven't we? And they'll keep coming. Well, not for much longer, obviously.
It's because, like I said, Ian, when Paul and I reviewed the Doctor Who magazine 8th Doctor special, there are 2 audiences now.
Yeah.
And we don't buy the Doctor Who magazine because that's more focused these days on the nonsense that's around today, although they're going to have to adjust that slightly. And we won't go back to it. And yet you've got this spin-off, which was actually for us. And it felt like the old Doctor Who monthly we used to get. It read like the old Doctor Who monthly we used to get, you know?
Is there a new one coming out this Thursday, one with the Dalek on the cover? Is that the most latest?
I have no idea,
one?
mate. No idea.
Is that the one with the time tunnel kind of thing?
Yeah, and it's got a
the new magazine, though, it's out.
Yeah.
It's
out
out
already, okay.
Yeah, it came out on Thursday. As usual,
All
Who
right.
viewers, I went to go and look if there was anything to report on the show. There wasn't anything in it at all. $8.99 for a load of old tosh. Nothing worth putting into headlines, he says, as an editor. There was nothing worth reporting on it. So that says a lot, doesn't it? I hate all this woke nonsense, says Rick Storm. Let's get back to shows like It Ain't Half Hot Mum Until Death Do Us Part. That'd go down well at the BBC today. I tell you, they'd have a bloody fit. Guys, it's Miles D. Yes, Miles D. I live close to Wicklow, near where they are filming Wednesday, and I saw, Joanna Lumley, I love her, with a big group that looked mostly like Crew about 3 weeks ago at Ashford Cemetery, so Piper must be here too. Now, Miles, I have a mission for you. Should you choose to accept it, I want you to get down there and get the exclusive with Billy, darling. All right, darling, get in there. Just go right under. Never mind. Just say, I'm running, and you'll be fine. Trust me, I know these things. And find out, get up to her and say, hi, Billy, I'm from Who's Views. What would you like to say about the new Doctor Who? And then she'll probably smash you with a bottle or something like that, like she did in the old days. Allegedly. Too much go there. Anyway. But go and do that, Miles. That's your mission. Go and interview her, love. Fabulous. Watch this space, everybody. He's good. Hello, Yokai. How are you? Fatal Death may not be canon, but it was still a hell of a lot of fun and felt more like real Doctor Who than anything in the last 20 plus years.
But it's definitely not canon. It's not canon. No, it's not. No.
No, it's in the same bracket as Dimensions in Time.
Dimensions in
isn't it,
Time
really?
is canon, yeah, but it's got real doctors in it, you know. So yeah.
But you can see where Moffat was going, can't you? Where he ultimately left the Doctor as a
Well,
woman.
some of the dialogue has been recreated in actual episodes, haven't
It
they?
has.
So,
It
so,
He had
absolutely
the Doctor
has.
as a woman and going off with a woman. So
Yeah.
you know, it's just it was foreshadowing a lot, really.
It was Stephen Moffat, that's right. And I was expecting that bloody sofa to turn up in his era at one point as
Yeah.
well. I thought, this is going to be the sofa of Eternal Comfort or whatever it's called. It's going to turn up in this episode now. You know, it didn't, but I was expecting it because it was getting like that. Kev is saying to us, the downfall was earlier. The Timeless Child was the last straw for me. Matthew Pounder is saying Starbeast marked the downfall, a trans lecture fest. Yes, there was all that into it, but I would argue that it actually started with the casting and the gender change, the unwanted and unnecessary gender change. Hindsight, as I keep saying on this channel, is a wonderful thing. If Capaldi truly wanted to leave the role, they should have ended it there and let it have a few years off. But the old Grotsit were talking, weren't they?
Or just give Capaldi 2 more seasons at least. Yeah.
They could have left it. They could have left him to do it. You know, with a new showrunner, you might have got some bloody decent scripts.
You see, JT, I agree with you with the gender swap, but I take it a few years further forward. I think it was
Missy.
marked by the gender swap of Missy,
because
you knew then the writing was absolutely on the wall at that point. That was where you knew where it was going.
I'm going to go back further than that. If you go back to 1980 and blame Mr. Baker, it's his fault all along.
Tom,
he started it, not Mr. Baker.
Well, I would take it all the way back then to 1964 with the Doctor obviously having that sexual relationship with Kameka and making out of the fact that it's Walter.
Oh, God. Except it wasn't really, though, was it?
No.
I just want to add at this point as well that Fatal Death does have the TARDIS in it and the Daleks in it. Hello. We've got Mark Greaves for a super chat here.
That
saying,
doesn't make it canon because Peter Cushing's not canon either because that's a different universe.
Are you sure? Are you sure, darling? Are you
Positive,
sure?
yes. He's called Doctor Who. That's his surname. Who's his surname, for God's sake? Yeah.
Do know about that,
TARDIS is better than Whittaker's.
Calls himself the
That's
Ninth
true.
Doctor. What about Toy Boys then? It's got the master in it. What about Toy Boys then, says Mark Greaves. Yeah, no, we can't talk about that. It's his personal life. We can't talk about that at all. I'm not criticising him in any way for having a boy toy. No, we can't talk about that or Toy Boys. No, it's his personal life. And Space Peninsula say, you say boy toy, I say carer. Allegedly.
Well, that's very harsh. Yeah.
But true.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Oh, I'm laughing because it's true. What else we got? Let's have a look. Oh, yes, lots of you in the chat. So thank you for joining us. Keep your comments coming. I'm going to come back to you in a second because we do have some more news around this as well. So we've dealt with ASIA, we've dealt with the woke show, but now let's head over to this at the iPaper, everybody. The iPaper.
Oh,
iPaper.
The iPaper, yeah.
Oh.
Now, it's not often I report on the iPaper because it's usually quite rubbish. But this one came up, and they don't do much to do with Doctor Who. And this one is interesting because this is the end for Doctor Who, says Isabel Lewis of the iPaper. With reports suggesting that this year's Christmas special will be cancelled, it's hard to imagine a future for the BBC Sci-Fi series. She carries on with, for Doctor Who fans, rumours that the show is on the brink of cancellation or delay are a regular, quickly dismissed occurrence. Still, the reports this week that the BBC series' long-promised Christmas special will not be broadcast this year do feel like something of a death knell for the series. Since Gatwa's shock departure, no, it wasn't really a shock. From the Sci-Fi programme in May 2025, Doctor Who's future has felt particularly uncertain. Yet, when the not all that surprising news came in October that Disney would not be continuing as a series co-producer, the BBC threw ravenous fans a bone. Is anyone seeing a pattern? Doctor Who would be back, it announced, but not until Christmas 2026 with a special penned by RTD. The thought of waiting over a year for a new Doctor Who was painful. But what choice did we have? Yeah, well,
It was painful having the old one, to be fair. Yeah.
The Christmas special had become a little raft, a promise that kept Whovians afloat, even when a lack of information, dismissed by RTD as the show simply cracking down on spoilers, which he did up until 2 weeks ago. This began to set off alarm bells. This latest report suggests the worry is justified. According to The Sun, which has a pretty good track record of accurate reporting on Doctor Who, the festive extravaganza has been pushed back. The reason? They cannot find an actor to take on the mantle as the 16th Doctor. Reading that the role has become something of a poisoned chalice, the fan in me feels disappointed. I get it, though. Playing such a historic role should be every actor's dream. But the recent Doctors haven't had an easy ride in the TARDIS, on screen or off. For years now, Doctor Who's quality has been on the decline. There were some standout moments from the Disney era. Wait for it, everybody. Boom! 73 Yards, Lux, and The Well, where Gatwa and the franchise both shone. But there were a lot of clangers in there too, and by that she doesn't mean the little pink things. With
That's a
both
shame.
series setting up huge overarching plots that fizzled out with minimal payoff. Yeah, can you remember them all now, everybody, as well? It continues. As public faith in Doctor Who has dwindled, the show has simultaneously found itself at the center of the culture wars. No matter who is cast, that performer will either be deemed emblematic of further wokery from the franchise or a sign of the show giving in and pandering to the alleged trolls. They can't win. Hyper aware of its precarious position, Doctor Who has tried to curry favor with its audience through nostalgia. In theory, the Christmas special should have been a done deal after Gatwa, regenerated into former companion Billie Piper in the last series cliffhanger ending. She should be leading things. At the time, the decision felt like a clear stopgap, done as part of reported reshoots following Gatwa's departure to bide time until someone was cast as the Doctor long term. Now the decision feels reflective of the kind of short-sighted scrambling that Doctor Who and RTD have operated under for the last few years. Reports claim that Piper's episode will instead air in April 2027, but this only prolongs the problem. Even if we do eventually get this special, it's hard not to imagine a world where a new series is delayed and the show put on indefinite hiatus. Do you see what's happening here with these kids? They can't imagine it. But, and I'm going to whisper this, she says, that might not be such a bad thing. Right now, Doctor Who is clearly not pleasing anyone. The show is in need of a designated, extended break for the team to recalibrate and develop a long-term vision that will allow the show to continue its historic legacy. That means fresh blood, behind and in front of the camera. With a proper break, Doctor Who can take the time to find a little-known future star like Matt Smith, someone who doesn't see the role as a millstone around their neck, but a career-defining opportunity. if or when this special does make it to the air, we can't expect miracles. But if this is the end of Doctor Who for now, let it be followed by a period of reflection that can breed reinvention. Ugh. It'll take clear-eyed vision to revitalize the show, but it clearly won't stem from more of the same. The worms are turning, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yeah, they certainly are.
We've been saying this all along, haven't we? That it cannot survive in its current form because it's dead, literally.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and we were saying it when that bloody awful Gatwa series, both of them were running over the, what was that,
Yeah.
24 and 25? Yeah. So we were saying this is not going to work. This is not going to work. It was bloody awful. And here we are being proved correct, along with all you in the chat. We've been talking about this for ages. But isn't it amazing now that these media types who were just a few short months ago going, oh, it's fabulous, are now being honest?
Yeah.
And I think that's because the show's off air and there's no sign of it coming back. So they're not going to get their backstage passes and they're not going to get the privilege and they're not going to get a mug.
They're just jumping ship and trying to be on the right side in history. That's what they're trying to do. Yeah.
Again, as they do. And it's down to people like Rod who will stick to the story because he's an adult and he'll just go, that's what I've heard print, which is what a journalist does. Let's face it, that's what they do, you know. And if they're wrong, but usually they are right, you know. I think it's all very interesting, everybody, and this is very interesting as well with this particular article here. Yeah, I don't agree with everything she's saying in there. I don't like the way she bigs up the series, and then she says, "But actually," you know.
It's interesting how she left Rogue out of that list, wasn't it?
But you notice though, they all pick the same episodes. It's like they've got a note of what. I'll just cut and paste that from the other one. That's all it's like. You know, move it around. That's it. Yeah.
It's either that or they're the episodes they got to see at a free gig.
Probably, yeah.
Or advanced copies or something like that. I don't know how it was working, so I shouldn't really say that because I don't know how the last series worked. But it is strange. But she also shows that whole sentence about it being unimaginable about Doctor Who not being. That's where we're at now, where some of these younger fans are actually now doing what I predicted last year. They are starting to have reality hit them. Doctor Who will not be on in 2026.
And they've struggled to deal with reality at the best of times, haven't they?
Ian, they will not.
At least we had Doctor Distress to count on, didn't we? Yeah.
They will not get through anything like we did. Imagine if this show is off for 4 years, right? This lot will not get there. They just won't get through, and it worries me. It does worry me because they're so intent on it's coming back, as you kept saying late last year, Ian. They were expecting a Christmas special in 2025, and they were insisting it was filmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fantasy Island, nothing was going on, was it? Nothing was happening. Literally nothing to see anywhere.
Well, you had certain alleged streamers, and it was a surprise to me because I didn't know there were any, as we know. But you had certain alleged streamers that were saying that, it was in the can. They'd been told by insiders.
By their contacts,
Yeah, some of these channels that have contacts, they really do. That were saying it was a done deal. It was there. It was in the can, and everything else. And yet, strangely, they didn't put it on TV. How odd!
It's
maybe it was white. I can only hope for that. Yeah. So
hang on. Can someone get me the phone? I need to speak to Film is Fabulous to see if they can find it.
I'll tell them not to look.
Don't look.
Yeah. Don't bother with it, guys. No, don't. If you find it,
leave it in the skip. It's fine. Go to landfill.
We'll take the Power of the Daleks or the rest of evil over that. Just let that one go.
Yeah.
We're happy to trade.
Stevie and Jeannie Frith, hello mate, how are you? Fire RTD. I don't think we need to. I think he's gone. More of that coming up. The downfall started in Capaldi's times as Legion of James. It died with Jodie's reveal and was dug up and defiled with Timeless Child. Gatwa's era was something I dare not type on YouTube. We are outrageous. Chris Graham is saying, I was sad about Dot and Ethel. Like some elements of the story, I wondered where the creatures came from. If they had made Lindy good, she could have become a companion, and I hated the divisive ending. That was just a pure piece of crap like the rest of them. Just, it was another one. I would say that's the thing they show in unconscious bias training. You know, it was one of these things that was done deliberately to say white people bad, everybody else in the universe good, which isn't factually correct, is it, as we know in Britain today?
Mhm.
And, you know, this is the other reason I think about Doctor Who now, with everything that's gone on now with television right now. I mean, it's like she was saying there, as Isabel was saying in her article there, if they cast a white heterosexual man again as the Doctor, well, all hell's going to break loose, let's face it.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't. It should be the right actor, and yes, I'm going to say man, who can do the job like in the good old days. The one with the magic, the one with the eye, you know, that spark, the one with the movement, the one that can deliver the line in both a humorous way, a regular way, a terrifying way, because the things he's going to have to do in an adventure series. Can that really go onto television today, everybody? I'm not sure. Talking of voices, you've Robert Payne saying, JT's Are You Sure is alarmingly close to Jodie Whittaker. If that's the case, I can't comment because I've only seen her once, and that was in the reality kitchen sink. Yeah, honestly. Let's have a look at the what you've said then for the poll. Let's see where we're up to now. I'm going to keep it open for a little bit longer, but if you are in the chat and you've just joined us, does Doctor Who need a rest? Chat. You can type in the chat 1 for yes and 2 for no. Okay. There's a lot of you there. So 1 for yes, 2 for no if you want to take part. Okay. And I'll come back to that shortly if I remember. Right. Okay. Where are we going to now? So yes, we've been talking an awful lot over the last few months about the fact that what we've touched on tonight, guys, the fact that any actor taking on the role of the Doctor now is bloody brave because it comes with baggage. It comes with the baggage of the seasons of the modern show from 2005 and all that nonsense that's gone on. And I've said this a lot of times, haven't I, Who Views? And I'm going to say it again because you never know who's watching. The modern version of Doctor Who has more baggage than 26 continual years of the original television series. It has so much more baggage. It's gone completely off the rails. It's even introduced unseen doctors, which is desperation, the majority of which people like me have written off as not canon. So, or i.e. doesn't matter. So what we've got here now is an actor that's going to come in and he's going to have the responsibility, and I am saying he because the Doctor is a male of his species, don't care. He will have to come in and build a character, expect good scripts, and deal with a fan base that is traumatized, split into several variants now, a British public that don't give a damn, and a worldwide fan base that has also divided and disappeared. Would you take on the role? Would you do it? It's a hell of a lot to ask, guys, isn't it?
It certainly is. No money,
You have to be
not enough money would make someone do it, I don't think, you know.
Yeah, you'd have to be mad.
Scary. Can you imagine that meeting on a Monday morning with your agent? You know,
it's even a bigger mountain to climb than Troughton falling on from Hartnell or Baker falling from Pertwee, etc., etc. I think that's even more massive than that. You know what I mean?
Can I just reiterate?
And the dog agrees as well, I think. Yeah. So
I just want to reiterate to people in the audience: we've been saying this for years. We've been saying this since 2024. I just want to make that clear. Okay? Because some people are saying in the chat that other channels have mentioned this. I don't care. We all talk about the same thing. But we have been talking, and go back and look at our lists because that annoys me. We've been talking about this continually for nearly 2 years. Here is some of the proof for you. Some of the proof. These are the thumbnails. There are others there. I couldn't get them all in. We've been talking about this. This is the week that Whose Views
predicted
caught up with us.
Yeah.
I can assure you. So I'm not going to have people in the chat saying other people spoke about this first. Not a chance. Not a chance. Might be picky of me, but I'm not having that because I work bloody hard on these shows and it's been put in here for ages. And this week it was corroborated by a national British newspaper. Rant over. But don't be saying I'm getting my sources from other places and other channels, because it's a bloody lie. It's not true. Not true. What else have we got here? Right, I'm going to move on to this particular paper now as well, which ties in with the subject we were talking about there, which was from The Independent, how Doctor Who became the star-making role nobody in their right mind would want. It's a game of who's who at the BBC right now, with reports suggesting that producers are struggling to replace Ncuti Gatwa's recently departed Time Lord. One of the big TV's biggest roles is looking like a poisoned chalice, writes Lewis Shilton. So it carries on here. Lewis goes on to say there are now fewer than 7 months left until Christmas, when Doctor Who was supposed to return. If the BBC isn't yet running out of time, then it may well be running out of Time Lords. That is, at least according to The Sun, who reported this week that the BBC Sci-Fi Institution is struggling to fill the shoes abruptly vacated by Ncuti Gatwa a year ago. The planned Christmas special might be mixed as a result. A source claimed that producers have found it difficult to find anyone who'll take on the part of the 16th Time Lord, in part because of the baggage of the most recent series. You're damned if you do Who, and damned if you don't. Confusion abounds over the ending of the last series finale, in which Gatwa's character regenerated into Billie Piper, the original companion to Christopher Eccleston's Doctor, back when the series was first rebooted in 2005. Piper claimed it was a last-minute decision to bring her in, and reports seem to suggest she will not be taking over as the lead of the series on a full-time basis. Really, though, the mess capped off a protracted period of turmoil for one of Britain's most ardently followed TV shows, a years-long stretch of fan dissatisfaction, tonal swings, and behind-the-scenes upheaval. When once playing the Doctor was a plum opportunity for an actor, its own, I can't see what it says there, stories and Totemetic playing Bond or Bruce Wayne, stepping into the TARDIS in 2026 has become a foreboding proposition. It's frightening, this, isn't it?
Yeah.
On paper, the Doctor ought to be an easy enough part to cast. The pool of candidates is boundless. And then it goes on to say, replacing Claudia Winkleman and Tess Daly on the controversy-laden Strictly Come Dancing, which I dare say was a fair, trickier task for the BBC. I'd agree with that, actually. The Doctor is a character with few consistent traits, a figure who has warped and flexed to meet the idiosyncrasy of whoever's playing them, whether that's Gatwa, Whittaker, or Capaldi. The only real requirement is charisma. There are some actors who feel like a natural fit for the role, like Benedict Cumberbatch. He has a bit of history about him, although his history with Who writers Stephen Moffat and Mark Gatiss on Sherlock may be too much of a crossover. And then it goes on to say, you know, the usual stuff about Michael Sheen, which is just nonsense as well. It's not hard to come up with other candidates, well, like British actors who skirt around the lower tiers of pre-national treasuredom. Now, here we go. You could imagine Hannah Waddington. I can't. No, Nick Mohammed. No. I can't. Brett Goldstein. No, I can't. If the producers sought to go in a more challenging direction, they could do a lot worse than snarling character actor Tom Hardy. Who is now free of his commitment to the crime drama Mobland. You see, again, we're back to this point, guys, where they're now desperate. They're now putting names out there. It's just exactly like it was in the 80s and 90s, isn't it? Yeah. And they're not the Doctor. These might be names, but it's not the Doctor. Yeah. You've got to have an actor who can be the Doctor. In many ways, Gatwa's spell on Doctor Who has been a clear warning to anyone looking to get involved in the franchise. His tenure on the show saw him weather criticism, abuse, and endless discourse when he left. That is nonsense. And he said that the series takes a lot out of you physically, emotionally, and mentally. So it was time to go. It is, it seems, a lot of stress and work for not much glory to speak of. For years, even the most generous responses to the show's leads have often included a caveat. They were a good Doctor, but their episodes were bad, has been prevailing complaint. Doctor Who's fan base is of late perennially dissatisfied, but it's not clear how that's going to change. It had been hoped for the return of showrunner Russell T Davies, RTD, would be able to fix that. He would restore the show to its Tennant-era fettle. Alas, complaints persisted. More so than most TV series, Doctor Who has a vocal, opinionated, and intensely knowledgeable fan base, all with strong thoughts on just what Doctor Who should be. Even if the response is positive, Doctor Who represents for many actors a gateway to a level of fame that can tipend your life. No matter who you are, being the lead of Doctor Who will only raise your profile. Capaldi has spoken about the intense pressure of being the Doctor. Okay, so we know all about that because we discussed all that. There are more logistical reasons for actors to be wary about signing into a project like Doctor Who, an open-ended, probably years-long commitment. If other TV shows do not work, that is to say, if they suffer bad ratings and are dismissed by critics, they are almost always cancelled. If Doctor Who suffers a dip in viewership and poor reviews, as it has done, as says there, as increasingly the case these days, then it perseveres regardless, because it is Doctor Who, to all intents and purposes, an uncancelable institution stuck in time. Even the end of the BBC's short-lived streaming partnership with Disney, who share production on Doctor Who between 23 and 25, has done nothing to curtail its plans. She finishes up with, really, though, a winding down may be the best thing for it at this point. Doctor Who would surely benefit from a hiatus, a chance to go away and regroup, to wait for both the right actor and the right script. There could hardly be a louder wake-up call than the mess around the reintroduction of Piper. This is not a show that can be ad-libbed. With the promises of new episodes creating an uncooperative timeline, time has, ironically, become Doctor Who's greatest enemy. But that doesn't need to be the case. So again, we're seeing a turn here. And all I can think of is BBC Studios, as I said at the top of the show, must right now be thinking, oh my God, they're talking about this and we didn't necessarily want them to.
Whoever they get, they have to make sure they give a thorough medical and check their knees before they start. Okay, that's something they have to do. Okay, because if you can't do 2 seasons and do like 10 episodes because you're only not in half of them, you have to retire when you're 20, 30, whatever you are, then you're in the wrong job, obviously. But you're right about some of these suggestions. Hannah Waddington is the Doctor, really? Really?
Because she's a name at this time, though, isn't she?
Yeah.
And these people, again, like predecessors a couple of decades ago, we'll get the names of the time. The only difference we've got now is we've got women added into the mix thanks to Chris Chibnall.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
And because Hannah Waddington was around at the time, she probably watched her on Saturday Night Live UK or whatever it was, or something recently. Yeah. She thought, oh, she'd be quite good. No, A, the Doctor is not a woman, and B, none of those suggestions that she had. What is she thinking about? Yeah. I don't understand what they're talking about. Hello, Mark A. Wright, by the way, who's driving in his car. I hope you're safe. Thank you for your chat, and yeah, take care on the road.
No, I think, I've said this before, it's like Jo Martin is the fugitive Doctor nonsense. She's not the Doctor. It's only certain actors can play the part. I think you have a certain criteria, like Tom, for instance. I mean, he was perfect for it. He was made to, born to play that role. You need someone like him with real charisma, character, eccentricity, someone who's really got gravitas as an actor. But you don't want someone who's just been in a soap or whatever, or Casualty. That's not right,
Mm-hmm.
You need the thing about you're in a room, 100 people. Tom Baker walks in, you bloody notice, because you just bump. You draw. Same with Pertwee, and it's that, if somebody like Gatwa or Whittaker walk in, or Joe Martin, you wouldn't bloody notice, would you? You wouldn't pause from whatever you were doing, whoever you were talking to. You just would not notice. They are absolute non-entities when you place them along the sides of the people that have done it, that are the type of people that you need to do it. They're inconsequential, I think.
It's star quality you need, definitely. And those names you mentioned, I don't think have that for the Doctor anyway. Maybe other things, but not the Doctor,
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And they're not the Doctor. It's as simple as that. It really is. It's. I don't know. As you said in the chat earlier, everything comes around, and I feel like we're back in 1989 and the beginning of the 90s again, where any old name can just be thrown out there.
Yeah.
And it's a shame.
I'm surprised that Kirby can't have Paul Downes anymore. It should be the remaining Chucker brother who's going to be the next Doctor. That would probably fit into that criteria we had in the 80s.
Yeah. Thank you for your super chat. Real Geriatric, I am glad that you are going to come to Blackpool. He says, in other news, I've got my tickets to see you guys in Blackpool next year. It will be my first Doctor Who convention. Have a lovely B&B booked already. Good for you. Looking forward to seeing you. I know it's a year off, but we've got to plan these things. So Anthony, that's great. So thank you so much, mate. And I hope you heard me mentioning you at the top of the show. Rory Neal is saying to us that knowing the BBC, they will cast Bradley Walsh or Mark McIntyre or Martin Kemp's son as the Doctor. Yeah.
Stunt casting for it. Sounds like stunt casting anyway.
Or that guy you mentioned, Muragarash or whatever his name is.
Oh, Ramesh Ranganathan.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Or Alan Davis. Yeah.
Because the BBC seemed to love him. I'm surprised actually that he didn't turn up on Strictly as one of the new presenters. But there you go. It's a sad state of affairs, and as I say, and I'm going to reiterate, we've been talking about this for ages. It's just this week it happens to have hit the press, and that's why we're talking about it in headlines. But it's absolutely reiterating everything we've been saying since we watched those god awful shows in 24 and 25. Absolutely terrible.
They'd likely make Rosie Jones the Doctor just to piss me off. You know,
Oh,
we'd
God.
face off against- she'd be facing off against the Daleks. She'd do a final monologue, and the Daleks would get so bored they'd just bugger off. You know, it'd just be.
I'm not being cruel. Nobody can understand what she says. She's there simply because DEI allows her to be. 20 years ago, 10 years ago, these people didn't, because the reason was they couldn't communicate properly. She's not even bloody funny, but that's the reason she's there. She's been very lucky because DEI has opened up a world to people that tick boxes. You know,
The series has just been shit canned, though, hasn't it?
I've no idea. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
She was playing some woman that was a drug runner or something on a local council estate, and it's been canned after one series.
Right.
That's not very credible, is it? To be fair, I mean, I don't mean to be mean to her, but it's not very credible, is it? That part she was playing, you know.
It must be terrible if you are one of these people that can tick a box, and I'm including myself in that, although I'm white, so I don't really get that sort of stuff. Because surely somewhere deep down you think, did I get this particular job because I'm good at it or because I tick a box? I would
must
be
feel-
thinking
you
that
must-
constantly.
Yeah, you must feel cheated, don't you, if you're simply a box ticking exercise, because you've not achieved anything, you've not striven to get to that, you've not earned it, which seems really awful. You know, you want to earn something, surely, to achieve something, not just be given it for the hell of it. You know what I mean?
Well, can we talk? Let's be honest. Can we talk? Let's be honest here. That's the reason Jo Martin got the pole of this alleged fugitive doctor, because she's a woman and she's black. That's the only reason, and that's Chris Chibnall going out of his way to say, I'm gonna pee off everybody. I'm really going for the DEI stuff now, and I'm going to cast this woman because she's black and she's a woman, and I'm going to say she was the first doctor, so that all those old fans really, really get punched in the head. And instead, we just switched it off. And congratulations, you idiots.
But we know that was their mindset, don't we? Because look at Gatwa and Resting Bitchface, who were posting about how much it would piss people off because they were non-whites in the TARDIS and all this kind of thing. So we know that they were using skin color as a way to bait people, which, you know, is in a way an element of racism anyway, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And yet that's what they were accusing people of, you know, trying to bait people with it. And then if they reacted, label them. It's absolutely sickening.
Yeah. But I rest my case with this. I mean, that's the whole point of Dr. DEI as it is now. And it's been a massive failure since Chibnall took over. We saw the workings of it in the Moffat era, but it really came full frontal in the Chibnall era, and it went on. And that's what helped to continue the downfall and the eventual destruction of a beloved show. And just doing it because you can is not the right thing to do. Just doing it because you've got to tick that tick box is not the right thing to do. I don't think. Okay, let's just have a breather and let's just have a quick commercial break. Yes, indeed. In case you didn't see it last week, Whose Views is delighted to say that we are going to be attending Invasion Blackpool 2027. It's going to be on Saturday, May the 15th, 2027. The tickets are available now from that QR code there. I know Legion of James and Kirsty will be putting links in the chat for you as well, but we are going to be there on the Saturday. We are going to be broadcasting live, and we are very, very excited. I want to say thank you, as I said at the top of the show, to everybody that's got in touch this week, including Real Geriatric, to say you have got your tickets and you are coming. We are going to have such a fantastic time. And don't forget, you might get on the show because we are broadcasting live from the event. So it's a year off and I'm already excited. It's going to be great. You can get all the details from the Invasion Blackpool Facebook page. And of course, we'll do the odd updates through Whose Views as well to see who we're going to be meeting and what's going to be going on. But yeah, looking forward to it. And I'm so glad a lot of you are getting tickets. It's so exciting.
It's going to be grand.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it? It's going to be good. George United saying, I'll come in. Yay! Good for you. And Rory Neal saying, I will try and book to go and get some tickets. Great. What else? Yes, Jess Corbin saying, oh, yes, the Doctor Who Blackpool. And let us remember that this is not the first time Blackpool has hosted Doctor Who. No, not at all. But Blackpool has a real long association with Doctor Who because of the two exhibitions it had there. So Heretic is saying, I need to buy my ticket. Can I come on the show to say hi? Yes, hopefully you can, because we're going to be there all day. Who's got a window open? And who's birds? I can hear birds.
It's not me.
I've got my door. I've got my door open, and the birds are very bloody loud, actually. And the dog barking earlier wasn't my dog.
Okay.
It was next door's dog then.
It was. Yeah. I'll shut it in a minute.
Okay. We've got Matt and Spiel
Yeah,
saying,
shut that door. Yeah.
we will need name badges to identify ourselves. We will, Matt. We'll have to have stickers. So when we all meet on the Friday night in the hotel bar, we can have stickers with a pen. You can write what your YouTube name is, so we all know each other. Okay, that's going to be brilliant. Yes, we'll do that. We will do that. We'll get that sorted. We'll have some stickers there. And let's hope, says Robert Payne, that May 2027 is as good as this May. Oh, I'm sure it will be. We're going to have some good weather for it next May as well, everybody. We won't mind, though, because we're going to be in the ground.
Yeah.
Idiot Proof Dalek. Oh, that's just moved it very quickly. What were you saying to me there, Idiot Proof Dalek? Gosh, the chat is moving so quickly now. I can't. Oh, there we go. What was it saying? I've lost you. Oh, yes. Derby to Blackpool in the van is 3 hours. And you stay over. You can stay over as well if you want to. There's places to stay. Okay, so that's it. Real Geriatric is saying, even my wife wants to come to Blackpool with me. To say I am surprised is an understatement. Well, good. We get to meet her as well. We get to meet her too. That's good stuff, isn't it? Good stuff. I'll be wearing a Who's Views t-shirt, he also says. Good. We're going to be selling them on the day, so if you haven't got one, don't worry about it. Don't worry. We're going to have lots of gorgeous stuff there. Okay, now I want to talk about RTD because Russell T. Davies, of course, this week has been very busy with that other thing he's been working on. He's been promoting Tippy Toey, the TQ cult drama that we have been reporting on over the last year as well here on Headlines for Channel 4. This is him on Friday night in Manchester at home, where they did the press showing in Manchester. Where else? Because that's where, of course, it's set. Where else, apart from outer space, has he set anything? Do you know what I mean? It's always going to be bloody Canal Street in Manchester.
Oh.
One of the interesting things that I've come up with is the fact that he avoided anything to do with Doctor Who at these press gatherings or showings or screenings, whatever you want to call them. And one of the biggest things he has said on Friday night, which was reported yesterday and today, is this. RTD, I won't be back filming anything until next year. Now, this is from Cultbox, and what they said here was, after a recent spate of news questioning the lack of signs on the production progress of the 2026 Christmas episode, RTD has neglected to mention the Doctor Who special, when discussing his future career plans to James O'Brien on the Full Disclosure podcast. Towards the end of the podcast, after RTD discussed the worsening state of the world, James O'Brien asked, now can I just state at this point as well, these are two of the most annoying men of looking at. I can't stand either of them right now because they are so far left, it's unbelievable, and everything's not right. And of course, James himself I can't stand his presenting style because he's right all the time, and his audience, who is the general public, are wrong. I can't stand him. So anyway, Brian asked, I feel we should end on a more upbeat note, but I'm not sure that's what are you doing next? RTD began with, I don't actually know, before mentioning a dance stage show planned for 2027 based on his hit television series, It's a Sin, which we reported on a few editions ago. I'm having a nice time, he continues. I'm kind of not rushing to write the next thing. I'm going to start now. The Tiptoe we finished work on, well, that's next week, and I'll start right on the next one. So that script will take a few months, then we'll start talking to people about it. So I won't be back filming anything until next year, really. Yeah, so I'll come to that one in a second. Yeah, so what we've got here is confirmation that he's gone. Basically, let's read between the lines, but put it out there, he's gone. He's gone from Doctor Who. Now, we did mention, didn't we, guys, a few editions ago, that he is already, because everything's in his head, as we know, he knows about the next follow-up TQ cult drama for Channel 4 again. Now, I put it to you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if he's going to write that in the next couple of months, Channel 4 will then arrange with the production partner to film it next year on Canal Street, probably, for screening around about this time in 2020. What's that, 8?
7. Oh, yeah.
28. So film it next year, screen it in 2028. Yeah?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And yet,
He's going to be busy, isn't he?
If he was doing Doctor Who, he wouldn't be hesitating to tell us about it, would he? Let's be honest. He'd be blowing his own trumpet saying, it's marvellous, it's coming back, blah, 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 Christmas, Easter, whatever. If he was doing that, he'd be selling that as well. He would be, you know.
And I think it's because this is my personal reading between the lines take on this. He doesn't know what's happening. He knows that Doctor Who's in trouble. He's gone from the production, doesn't care. He's now going to focus on the It's a Sin musical with the Pet Shop Boys that we reported on. He's going to now also put together this new version, this next drama he's doing for the same people who's just done It's a Sin for, which will be, again, the same sort of thing on Canal Street, just shifted around a little bit. The same old crap shifted around. He'll be even more angry now because of what's happened in Britain over the last couple of weeks, where we now have been told what a woman is. He'll be livid. He'll be livid. So that's going to be the next thing. And he'll add anything else in that happens in the next year because that's the sort of man. Because remember, he writes what he knows.
He's also not mentioning Doctor Who because he wants to try and save face, doesn't he? He's not going to say, well, it's cancelled, blah, 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 whatever. He's trying to avoid that completely and just come out of this looking okay, isn't he? You know what I mean?
We know he's got a very thin skin, though, don't we?
Yeah.
And unlike the great unwashed that we are, where he can block us, he can't really. It's not a smart move if you go blocking the journalists or anything else, because he's going to want them again for his own publicity, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he's got to be careful with them, and he can't block them.
Yeah. What he's going to do with this next one, though, because nobody can stop him and no one's going to question him, I can guarantee you the thing he's got out just now, Tippy Toey, is going to be very angry, right? Because I've been saying that since they announced they were going to do it. The next one will be off the scale.
Yeah.
And they'll allow it. And it's Channel 4. They'll allow it. No one's going to question him. No one's going to question him at all. There's a lot of people in the chat talking about this now. Yeah. That's so funny, some of these things as well. Andy is saying to us, Tiptoe should have a mortuary tag attached. Julianne is saying to us, blimey, RTD and James O'Brien together. Was there any space for oxygen in the room with that lot? Sanctimony in the air. Yeah, that's a good point, isn't it, Julianne? I mean, the two of them together. I watched a little bit, and when I just couldn't. I just thought, what utter nonsense, because I don't like either of them. And the two of them together, it was nauseating. It was the clash of the egos. You know, absolutely
not
terrible.
Pleasant people, are they? They're not pleasant.
No. So Sydney Round is saying to us, he's done the damage and moved on. RTD's gone. Okay, bye, said Matt Enspiel. Jog on, RTD, says Richard Brooks. You Robert Payne, how he left Doctor Who is what RTD will be remembered for by us. Absolutely. We will never let him forget, just like Chibnall. We will never let him forget what he's done to the show. Philip Shaw, if RTD is only contributing 6 scripts, does he need to be there for filming? No. If they go ahead with the scripts they've got, if they cancel the Christmas episode and they start to put the thing on hiatus now, they could actually not use the scripts. They could actually get somebody who can actually write for Doctor Who, and they could reboot it now. that's what I think, Philip, they might be, the BBC, and I don't know about this for sure, but I think that's why the BBC might be a little bit annoyed with what's gone on this week, because they haven't said anything. There was no publicity around it, to say, oh, no, that's all nonsense. That's all nonsense. That all they said was, we don't comment on BBC shows like this, or that wording, and they could have done. And I think they should. I think they should come out now and just say, yeah, okay, we're not going ahead with this. We're just going to look at it. We're going to look at it like they did in 1989, when at least they were honest. And we have to remember that, yet again, as we reported back at the beginning of the year in February, this gentleman turned up, didn't he? This is the brand new Director General of, or Director possibly, of BBC Studios. And as he said, at the time, we're a big important part of Doctor Who and are all motivated to make sure Doctor Who has a long and flourishing life. We've got the Christmas special coming, but after that, it's time for us all to work on it. After that, it's time for us all to work on it. Now, if they decided not to go on the Christmas thing, who cares? That's probably the best thing to do it. Get rid of that and start working on it now and bring it back in 2 or 3 years' time. But it won't be
spare yourself the hassle of putting it back to Easter. Just get rid.
Well, by the time we get to May 2027 or April 2027, that's 2 years since the crap finished. That's still 2 years, so they can build on that, and 5 years down the line it'll be like that before you know it.
Yeah.
Lex wants to know. Lex came with it. Is Channel 4 partly owned by the BBC? That's a cloudy issue, actually. I want to say yes. It is still funded by the
license fee a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, although they look at themselves as rivals, it's like an MP said to us, which again we reported the other week. One of the MPs has come out saying that they should merge.
Yeah,
the BBC and Channel 4 can merge, because I can't remember, but that person thought that's going to be very easy to do. Not necessarily in practice, but I can understand where it's coming from, because it's both public funded. Digby Strawbridge is saying, are these articles about RTD2 Doctor Who being crap the first shots and the depersoning of RTD? Mace 4 is saying RTD can bugger off. Richard Brooks, Channel 4 will have a flop on our hands. We will soon know. The 5-part thing has started, so we will soon know. But again, they're going to do a BBC thing saying, yes, but let's look at the Channel 4 player, or whatever they call it.
Yeah. Over the year for 365 days, see how it's done. Yeah.
I can't believe it's about gay people. Who knew, says Mark Greaves? Well, it depends on how you look at it. From my point of view, it's not about gay people at all. It's about people who happen to be in the TQ cult, who believe that a man can be a woman and a woman can be a man, and dictate and have all those ideologies. A sane gay man knows that a woman doesn't have a penis, and that a man doesn't have a vagina. To suggest
who knew that could be questioned ever? Who knew?
I know, it's just silly that I listen to myself saying it, Paul, continually.
And you think, what nonsense I'm talking here.
Yes. Yeah.
2026, and we had to define that. Is
the world flat now as well? Maybe that's changed as well, possibly. Yeah.
I think it probably did, and they'll probably blame Trump.
Yeah.
We need to prop up the firmament, Paul. We need to keep that roof in place.
We do. Yeah.
Hello, PTA. How are you? The Christmas unspecial will likely be compilations of previous shows. If there's anything at all, who's going to watch something on Christmas Day that says Doctor Who now? As we've said many times, we've said in this show, the public are not going to watch it. They don't care. They've got better things to worry about now. Let's face it. As Robert Payne is saying, the public will not notice Doctor Who not being on. There was no public outcry this week over these papers. They
never noticed it when it was on. What are you talking about?
Yeah. No, you're right, Paul. You're absolutely right. The BBC know it's not going to happen, said Richard Brooks. I reckon they do too. I think they've got to be honest for the sake of the minority of screaming fans who aren't going to be able to cope. We're seeing that now. They're seeing it now. They're just total in disbelief. How many times have I had, guys, something coming back on Facebook from some idiot who's saying, oh, no, it's just in production. Oh, it's doing that. No, it's not. There's nothing happening. Prepare yourselves for a shock. David Nash, good to see you. Considering Doctor Who is expensive and would take up a fair bit of license fee money, they need to be giving some updates or response to The Sun. Got to remember as well, it's not the license fee anymore. It's BBC Studios who are not actually taking money for. They took maybe BBC One will contribute something as it's an order, but the bulk of the money came from BBC Studios, and of course in the last deal, the majority of the money came from Disney. That money has now gone, so BBC Studios would have to do it itself, which is why they are desperate for an American production partner. Because of what you're saying, David. It is expensive to do. It does take up a lot of money, but not much of the license fee money now, because that goes towards other nonsense like administration. We've got to clarify that a lot, actually. The BBC over there, BBC Studios, who have Doctor Who over there, commercial arm, they take all the money. So let's get on to the next bit about this. We are talking about RTD now, and yeah, it's been an uncomfortable weekend for him. There he is going off to all these swanky things, and everybody's adoring him and loving him, and predictably, you can see it all. Oh, isn't he wonderful? Oh, he's marvelous. Oh, he's just a genius. All the crap we've had for 20 years over this man. Oh, he's really made advances. This is a groundbreaking show. This is really how Britain is at the moment. Lies, lies, lies. This is from The Guardian. Trying to get in as a well-rounded view of the issues at stake here is a deliberate choice by RTD. Now, this is them talking about Tippy Toey. Spit and Polish employees. Now, that's the pub that's featured in this TQ drama, Tippy Toey. Okay, it's called Spit and Polish. Ha, ha, ha. Think about it. He's trying to be funny. It's actually it's just lame. It's just lame. Spit and Polish's employees are mostly a younger generation of LGBTQ plus people. He sought advice from writer Juno Dawson, with whom he'd worked on Doctor Who, the well-known homophobe, about how to portray the trans characters in the show, including the charming and endearing employee Z, Stephanie. Leo's close friend, whom we see throughout the series, is gender critical, believing that biological sex cannot be changed from birth. Now, what that means there is a real person. People like us.
Gender critical.
Yeah.
What?
No.
I mean, scientifically accurate.
Yeah.
They just make words up, don't they? They really do, honestly.
Yeah, these people call us gender critical. It's part of this whole thing about shaming us or trying to guilt us into their way of thinking. It doesn't work, but we're gender critical. How can you be critical of a fact? The fact is you've got a man and a woman. That's fact. You know, only in the last few years has this nonsense taken hold across the world. It came from America. It got hold of us. You've got idiots going around saying, oh, I'm non-binary. No, you're not. Look between your legs. You know, it's just simple, isn't it? You are not non-binary. Hello, you've got a penis or a vagina. I'll tell you which one it is. Come on, slap them around. You know, it's just ridiculous. But they call us gender critical. It doesn't make sense at all. And they aim it a lot. It's like the TERF, the TERFs, trans exclusionary radical feminists, i.e. women. Women who know that a man cannot be a woman.
Or cis men and women, that kind of thing. That same.
All that sort of stuff, Paul.
Yeah.
It's all this blooming idiotic language that they come out with. Okay, so there's the picture. I wanted all sorts of voices in there, says RTD. I've got friends who are gender critical, one of them being Helena Bonham Carter. It's only online you end up screaming and shouting and being attacked by them. In real life, you have a chat and we all kind of sigh and put up with each other. That's how the world works. It's actually how the world is ceasing to work. As terrifying violence looms towards the end of the series, Stephanie and Z end up on the same side. Oh, good, a nice, happy story. Now, I have to say, on that bit there, I actually agree with him. It's only online you end up screaming and shouting and being attacked by them. In real life, you have a chat and we all kind of sigh and put up with each other. That's how the world works. It's actually how the world is ceasing to work. Now, I agree with that bit because I've lost friends over knowing that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. I have had terrible accusations of being phobic, the lot of it. I've had that from people.
But not to your face, is it? It's all online.
I have had some to my face.
Oh, you have?
I have had homophobia to my face from people who allegedly are an ally, as they love to use the word for. It has. It's worse online, of course. It's terrible online because you've got these keyboard warrior type things. Yeah. You cannot read.
They're braver, aren't they, when they do that? Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Definitely.
The amount of ones that disappear when I say, "Would you like to come on my YouTube show?" are amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Because they can't articulate, because they know at some point I will win because I'm truthful, I am factual, and their ideology, their lie, cannot persist against the truth. So it's all this sort of stuff here. But what he says there is ironic. I'll just put it out again. It's only online you end up screaming and shouting and being attacked by them. And that's exactly what happened this weekend to RTD. And I have to be honest, I feel terrible for him because his own Doctor Who fan base has turned on him because of what he said there. I have gender critical friends. Had he not used that terminology, he might not have just opened up his own grave. If he'd said, I've got friends that disagree with me and we agree to disagree, that may, gentlemen, have brought, just may have brought back some semblance of normality and decency back to the conversation. But no, he has to use all the TQ cult language. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think I do feel sorry for it now.
He thinks, though, that he is so untouchable that he can say anything to anybody and he'll just be accepted for it. And it's been a shock for him. But any kind of vitriol he faces now is just the same, probably not as much as he's directed at other people for years. He's basically reaping what he's sowed. I've got, you're way better than me on this, JT. I have no sympathy for him whatsoever.
Well, I'm going to show you some of the examples.
Yeah, I've not seen the examples. I'm prepared to have an opinion on this. Yeah, so
I have taken just a couple.
Yeah.
Because I was astounding and sick to my stomach because it reminded me of Michael Webster. Thank you for your super chat there. I appreciated it. It reminded me of what I had been through. I think it must be since around about 2018, 19, and it really grabbed hold in 2020 when everybody was locked down and went insane across the world. And we've never got back to that semblance of normality and decency and humanity. And when these things took hold, it reminded me of the homophobia I was getting. It was the backlash I got was intense and it was frightening. It was scary stuff. But you deal with it. You have to think, right, no, hang on a minute. This is probably somebody in a basement. This is somebody who can't tell real life. This is somebody that doesn't know that a woman does not have a penis. This is somebody who is in danger of being put in a padded cell. So, and over the years, I've learned to navigate it. Now I can just take the pee out of them and get a perverse kick out of it. But this will be new to RTD. I'm going to start with this one, and you're not going to believe it because this is an X from James Dreyfus. He said, RTD says in an interview that he has gender critical friends. Bear in mind that he is extremely vocal in support of the LGBTQIA+++++, especially the QT. Although curiously, there were no trans or non-binary characters in Queer as Folk, an odd oversight considering they apparently fought for our rights and were ubiquitous in 1999. Well said, Jim. Anyway, apparently his support is not meeting the skyscraper high threshold for their purity test, and he's now being attacked for his choice of friends by the very people he champions, which seems to me to be a trifle harsh, irrational, and certainly predictable. This outcome probably demonstrates that it's perhaps unwise to engage in genial horseplay with your pet rattlesnake unless you've a fridge packed with anti-venom and are handy with a needle. So Mr. Drake is there, brilliant as ever.
I think pet rattlesnake says it all, doesn't it? That just perfectly describes the crazies. Yeah. And James is so good with words. He really is, absolutely.
He's very, very good. Very good.
So that got me looking. When I saw James doing this, it got me researching this whole thing and just looking at this. And this is, I mean, no names are now blocked to protect the not innocent because these people are bloody insane. Look at this. Sam, he, him, a mushy crouton. Now, I have to say at this point, this Sam, he, him, I had words about over Doctor Who. This is an alleged Doctor Who fan that lives for what Jinx Monsoon would have said, representation, lives for it. He's just had his world crushed because he said, friendly reminder that gender critical simply means homophobic and transphobic. You liar. You're a liar, Sam. You are a liar. It means truthful. It means factual. You are a liar. It goes on to say, when RTD says he's got gender critical friends, he is saying he has friends who are homophobic and transphobic. Have some self-respect, Russell. This was one of the nice ones, boys and girls.
Really? Oh, good God.
Yeah.
Because people got on the back of that and it got nasty and it grew. It grew as the Doctor Who weirdos of that part of the cult base got on board. Oh, look, there's a bandwagon. I must jump on it.
If this is one of the good ones, you know, this is typical of these people, isn't it? It really is. It's unbelievable. They just this is shutting down conversation again, isn't it? It's like Russell said he's got friends who are gender critical, and they're saying they're transphobic or homophobic. They have no idea what they're talking about, have they? At all.
As lots of people were saying in our chat, and I will come to you again shortly, the left always eat themselves. I have never seen anything like this, though. And
all because of indigestion. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm somebody that was always, I suppose, on the left. And then, as I've said before on the show, the left left me. So I'm now politically homeless, and I'm now right-wing, according to loads of different people, which I don't care. If you want to call me right-wing for being sane and standing up for gay rights, you can bloody well call me that. Because same-sex attraction is valid. It's not anything to do with your ideologies, so leave us alone. Well-known homophobe India Willoughby had to climb on the bandwagon, though.
Oh, surprise, surprise. Yeah.
Really like RTD, but tolerating the intolerant is unacceptable, will he know. Trans people are having their rights removed by your friends. Liar. Your friends want us eradicated from society. Liar. Tippy toe is about the return of homophobia. Why do you think it's back, Russell? Hashtag gender critical. What a knob.
It's back because of insanity.
That's ironic. Like he's a knob. I have to say that.
I cannot
unintended. Yeah.
I have not liked him in years, and I was absolutely delighted to be blocked by him. So thank you to a friend of mine and anybody else that sent me that particular tweet, because I am blocked from him, so I can't see him that. But let's look at it together again, shall we? What he says there. Tolerating the intolerant is unacceptable. What the hell does he think he's been doing for years? Yeah. You know, and these people, along with RTD, let's not forget, have been stoking the fires, you know, gaining up this, pushing that dictate of the ideology of you will do what we tell you and you will lump it. And then people slowly have come out to say, actually, no. People like me were in there straight away saying, bugger off, you know.
It's like they get the taste of their own medicine, isn't it? That's the good thing about it, yeah.
It is. It is. Yeah. But what he is saying here as well, India, trans people are having your rights removed by your friends. What rights do heterosexuals not actually have? Now, this man has a kid from when he was a father. He's a heterosexual. What rights does he not have? What right? This is what they can never answer. What rights in the United Kingdom right now have trans people lost in the United Kingdom? Nothing. What you've been told is the reality. And what you've also been told is that those things you were taking the pee out of, literally, for the last few years, was not law. It was the dictates of Stonewall, the poisonous and now homophobic organization. Unbelievable. Of course, we've also got here, your friends want us eradicated from society. Do any of us want anybody eradicated apart from a certain class of invader that's come into the country recently? No, not really. Not really. You know, that's not the British way. And up until 2020, I think everybody was tolerant of gays, lesbians, and then the transgenders. And then suddenly this TQ cult comes moving up, which RTD was right there at the front, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Tennant, all the other actors, all the other people. Oh, my God. You know, all over from America. This is what we've done. And he started preaching. And we've covered that on the show over the last 3 years. So this must be a culture shock because his little friends are now getting at him.
RTD was spouting absolute hate at award ceremonies and everything for years. He's been poisonous. So yeah, it's going to be a shock for him, and you know, pass the popcorn, really.
I hope it's a culture shock for him, because he needs to be shaken up, and this is what they're going to do, you know. Let's just get into the chat quickly. We've got Robert Payne saying to us, gender accurate, more like. Woodhouse 122 saying it should be gender realist.
Yeah.
It's not their language. Dystopian Nightmare, hello to you. I'm Doctor Who critical. Join the club, aren't we all? Dalek Shalom is saying gender critical is lefty 1984 newspeak. Matthew Pounds is saying to us it's gender accurate. Real Geriatric, I am not gender critical, I'm a gender realist. David Nash wants to know, like you did there, what the hell is gender critical? Yeah, I hope I answered that. So did Digby. Gender critical, why not call us myth critical or BS critical? Yeah. Some of you talking about
they call women menstruators. I mean, really, God's sake, honestly, you know.
Yeah. Hello, Raymond Williams. Nice to see you. It's the usual white gammon man trope, getting angry watching social media and supposedly being misinformed by podcasts. In reality, it's the BBC, Channel 4, Sky that misinform us deliberately. That's talking about the tippy-toey, because that's, yeah, you've brought that up in a nutshell there, Raymond. That's exactly what happens. So congratulations on that one. What else we got? I've got some super chats here as well that I can't find, so bear with me while I look through this. Rick Storm is saying to us, call us its, phobes, etc. We don't care. Those words have lost all meaning. I agree. Yeah. I agree with that. And they've taken all the power behind them because they use them all the time. And because it's used all the time, yeah, you're right. It's just no power to it anymore. No power to it anymore. There's the one from Michael Webster. Thank you, Michael. And Moondust saying, don't feel sorry for him, JT. He has caused so much division. Moondust, you're right. You're absolutely right. I just did, because I remembered what I went through and I thought, now he's going to go through this. But you're right. He brought this on himself. Yeah. And the fact, isn't it ridiculous now? He actually is coming out there in a sense as a little bit normal in that he's got friends. He obviously respects everybody's opinion around him unless he's on a public platform. And that's what's got him into the mess he's in. Because on a public platform, he's saying, la, la, la. At Pride, he's going, la, 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 la. And then he's still talking to people like Helena Bonham Carter and other people. And they can't stand that. No, you can't have those friends. No, you shouldn't be talking to them. You should do what we do and alienate everybody that doesn't agree with us.
He could find himself, you know, if this escalates and continues, which, you know, probably would and should. If he's trying to write his next thing that's also around Canal Street, he might find filming there very difficult because, you know, you've found hostility there, haven't you? And people you've known have experienced hostility and aggression and violence there because you're not taking the knee, you're not following their exact doctrine and everything. Yeah. He could have quite an eye-opener coming up next time.
Well, yeah, I mean, when I was doing as an extra, I worked on Cucumber and Banana, bloody awful shows. I knew that when I was listening to the dialogue in one of the clubs and we were doing a club scene, I thought, what's they talking about? This is whatever it was. No, this is RTD writing this. What? It was awful, absolutely awful. And I remember saying to a friend of mine who I was working with at the time on this, I said, this is a terrible script. And I was right, because the thing just was one of those flops for him and it's gone into the ether now. They don't, you know, it's never been repeated. They don't look at it. Rory Neal, due to my anti-trans views, I get told to watch what I say at work and online, as I could get fired by my pro-trans company I work for. That's disgraceful. I would also say, don't say you've got anti-trans views, because I don't think any of us are anti-trans. Just say you've got realistic views. The fact is, a trans woman is a man and a trans man is a woman. That's it. And that's a fact. But I can't think that any of us on this channel would wish ill health on any trans person at all.
No, yeah, absolutely not.
You know, we're not lying. I mean, I do have a couple of friends who are trans women, but they want nothing to do with this madness, and they've disappeared. You know, disappeared into the countryside.
They're the sane ones. That's the thing, though. There are the faction of crazies, but there are sane trans people as well who want none of this. Yeah,
the activists, Paul, don't necessarily represent the majority of trans people who have been through hell to discover who they are, and then go through all that terrible stuff that they have to go through, and then just want to go on with their lives. Yeah, and that's absolutely fine. But you've got these activists that have turned up for everything, thinking that you know, they're huge and they're massive and they need protected and stuff like that. No, they don't. Leave them alone. Leave them. This is not another gay rights issue like it was in the 70s and 80s.
They're creating their own problems. That's what the problem is, I think. You know,
It's terrible. It's terrible. I don't know what that one is. Sheila B, nice to see you. Lex for a super chat saying to us here, young Washington movie. Ben Kingsley as Robert Dinwiddie, Andy Serkis as Edward Braddock, Kelsey Grammer appears as Tom at Fairfax. I've not heard of that. Thank you, Lex. I don't know what that is. It sounds like a thing. Young Washington. Sounds like a film I will not go to see. I'm not interested on that thing.
George Washington, just as an aside, because I'm sad that way, George Washington has evidence of family roots in North Yorkshire in the stained glass of Selby Abbey.
Does he?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a bit of a claim to fame there for that part of the
that's
world.
a bit of a tangent, Ian, isn't it?
It is, you know.
No.
I just hope you're proud of me there, Paul.
I am, yes. Yeah.
If anybody, you know, the thing is, if it comes up in a quiz, you know it now. So that's great. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Legion of James is saying to us, there is no such thing as gender critical. It's called truth of reality. But there is most definitely such a thing as gender fetishes and delusion. As we know, you are now in America, in fact, in Britain as well, entering Pride Month for June. You are going to see a lot of pictures which you have to remember do not represent the majority of same-sex attracted men and women. We have nothing to do with a lot of the weirdo things you're going to get to see in these prides. It's nothing to do with LGBT issues. And as a very wise lesbian said a couple of years ago, everything right of the bee is heterosexual. Please bear that in mind. And please don't take your children to Pride anymore. There are things there I personally would not want kids seeing, really. Do think about it. Matthew Pounder is saying to us that Willoughby used to talk some sense, not anymore. He lost the plot. I reckon it was too many drugs. Nice to see John D retired. Good to see you. And I got a super chat here from Matt. Thank you, Matt. It's the Daleks turning on Davros all over again. It's
Let's
true.
hope he
though,
doesn't come
actually.
back, though.
Yeah, it's true, but it gets worse. And this one was one of several I saw where I actually thought, oh my God.
Oh, that is what they're coming out from under the stone. That is what they're like.
This is what J.K. Rowling has had to deal with for years. She gets it every day from these idiot people. Now, this person allegedly is a Doctor Who fan.
Oh dear.
We need to KILLRTD. Now that's crossing a line.
Yeah.
Now I am one of, I think, many that reported that X. And I hope that person, because it's probably some man who's weird, gets banned and kicked off. But we know what's happened before because we've had people saying things like that before and they're allowed back on and then they get to write for Doctor Who magazine, for crying out loud. But that for me was the bit where I went, oh my God.
Yeah, that's a step too far, definitely. Yeah.
But you know what, Paul? He got people agreeing with him.
Yeah.
What's different there from what saw Lucy Connolly get 31 months for?
Yeah.
Well, exactly. I mean, if this person is,
that's arguably worse.
Yeah, this is hate speech, if we want to call it that horrible phrase, but this is hate speech, isn't it? So
it's the absolute very definition of it. Yeah, it's the very definition of it. It's very black and white.
Yeah.
And yet she, and you could argue there were mitigating factors there, but it was still wrong what she wrote. But she got 31 months. I expect the same or more for that person, and I bet money it won't happen.
If they're in Britain, you're right, they should be. If they're not in Britain, we can't do anything about it. And God help them if they're in somewhere like Norway or something like that, or even now in Germany or somewhere where they will go and literally grab them and put them into prison. And
that should be, because I mean that is the threat to human life. Going around threatening someone to do that to someone, you're crazy. You need to be locked up, honestly.
It was this particular one, and then it was the replies who viewers on the back of it saying, I agree. And it just reminded me of the whole nonsense with J.K. Rowling, who's had to live with this every single day. Now, he is not on a level with J.K. Rowling in any way, shape or form. She can deal with it because she's got the money to deal with it. Let's face it. She's got security. She lives in a castle quite happily. She can block things off. She's a very proud woman. She's a very strong woman. they can't touch JK, but they can touch RTD. And I don't mean physically. I mean, they can harm his career. People could turn around and look at this and go, oh my
And try and
God.
get him cancelled. Yeah.
You never know, Paul. You never know.
Well, you know, it's again, right since 2005, it's what he's been doing to other people, cancelling people, calling people out, directing, ultimately, you know, probably would argue not deliberately, but things he's been saying about people has seen that those people get hate directed at them from other people. So, you know, my sympathy is zero. It really is.
I hope John Barrowman's enjoying this, allegedly. Yeah.
That's a very good point.
I don't know. I shall reach out. Yes, to Rory there. Absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. Mark saying, JT, you're not far right. You're just constant. Oh, bless you. Let's take that off the screen before my ego gets big. But thank you for that. But this was, oh, hello, Tyler Durden Smile. How are you? And good to see you. I hope you're well. Yeah, this was Richard Brooks saying, yeah, agreed, JT. How sad. It's not just sad, it's disgusting. These people are, as I've been saying,
it's frightening,
insane,
isn't it?
Paul. They are insane. To wish that. And you'll never guess who was also shocked about this. It was James Dreyfus, who said this. Read my earlier post. It's odd to be in a position where my instinct is to defend RTD when I'm pretty sure the favour wouldn't be returned. I'm absolutely 100% guarantee you that the favour wouldn't be returned. James continues, but to see the outpouring of venom directed at him today for daring to have GC friends patently shows how any deviation from the approved narrative is as dangerously precarious as strolling across a barbed wire tightrope. These reactions are just insane. And he's right.
He's definitely right. Yeah.
This is where we're at in our society in the Western world. It's frightening, isn't it?
Insanity unleashed.
Yeah, the lunatics have taken over the asylum, without a doubt. Yeah.
And nobody's doing anything, boys and girls, to stop them. Especially in our country, we've got a bloody useless government who's just head in sand, thinking everything's normal. But what are they on? I don't get it.
Well, they've encouraged some of this as well, JT. To be quite honest, with
well, yeah, you're right. But it's still, they should still be actually getting real and dealing with it, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
They really should. Timescales are saying that crosses the line. Absolutely does.
Yeah.
It really does. Yeah, and there's a lot of you saying there on that. Yes, it was translated from the Turkish. I don't know. It just shows how far this cult has gone, and how RTD's influence has gone as well. Because don't forget, he's been a spokesperson for this sort of stuff for several years now. Several years. And I think he needs to be very careful right now.
What the original was that? The original KILL comment was translated from Turkish, was it?
It was translated from Turkish, yes, but the meaning was there, and then you could see people coming
all the ones agreeing were translated from Turkish, were they?
No, there was a lot of. There were a lot of. Unfortunately, there were a lot of TQ cult people. Some of whom had. You could tell they were Doctor Who fans. You know this. And they were really, really unimpressed with this, and so they're very delighted to hear that he has gone from Doctor Who. But I don't know. These people are sick. Brian DeLion 1701, love the show and always tune in. Thank you very much, sir. Starting a new job tomorrow, so wish me luck. Absolutely, good luck to you, my friends.
Yeah, good luck.
Enjoy it. I hope you meet some lovely people there around you that make a nice workplace. So good luck to you. Let us know how you get on. So Sydney Rough Diamond is saying there are really some absolute nutters online, and Juliana is saying disgusting. The tolerant left, the hypocritical.
Exactly that.
Yeah, face it. Oh, Digby saying to you, Ian, yeah, exactly. This is actually worse. It's a direct call to violence. Yeah. Problem being is saying to us, too dear justice. Idiot-proof Dalek is saying, yeah, it's an incitement. It is. And yet there are some people, look what J.K. Rowling's had to deal with. There are some people that have said certain things like that on Twitter, or exact things like that on Twitter. And others have gone ahead and tried to plan it.
Yeah.
She had 3 bloody idiots from the TQ cult turning up to the gates of her blooming house in Edinburgh.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Shocking behaviour. That's
And didn't they
that's
put her
madness.
address online and things like that and all that kind of nonsense?
Yeah, they absolutely
yeah.
did.
Yeah.
That's nobody's business. Leave it. Oh, you know. Anyway, it's not right in any of this. Lex, thank you for your super chat. As a Christian, I wouldn't say that ever, though RTD has his faults. I would turn the other cheek. I think he
Which
has.
is, which is very honourable and which is very much, Christian doctrine, isn't it, Lex? Absolutely. But I mean,
Yeah.
unfortunately, when he's on one, all RTD would do when you turn the other cheek is smack that too, which is why I've got zero sympathy for him. He's, Jimmy Dreyfus put it better than anybody else. He's fantastic with his words, isn't he? And
Very
the rattlesnake.
It's kind of his just desserts, though, to be fair, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Zach Whitten is actually updating us, and I've forgotten about this. Poor old John Barrowman is currently in mourning as his mother has passed away a few days ago.
Yeah, she did, didn't she?
Yeah, I've forgotten about that. So let's just everybody just send our best to John in what is going to be one of the most traumatic and difficult times of his life. Bless him.
Yeah.
Bless him.
Condolences to him.
Absolutely. Right. David Nash is saying this is similar to the Georgia Tennant scenario where some mad cow keeps threatening her life. It's nothing being done about it. That's just no. What happened to being polite? What happened to being able to agree to disagree? And why are we arguing over fantasy and ideology? And this is where they've got themselves. Stonewall in the UK. I blame Stonewall for jumping on the bandwagon. I'm really pushing this. It's disgraceful. And we have to say we have a load of people that have grown up believing, because of Stonewall's ideology and insistence that business do certain things and say certain things and act certain ways, they think that's a right. It's not a right at all. It's not. You have the same rights as the rest of us. Follow the law of the land. You haven't got any rights that have been taken away. They've just taken away the additional nonsense that Stonewall, which is a lobby group now, insisted on. That's it. Get on with it.
Yeah.
Jack is with us in the chat. Hope you're feeling a little bit better, Jack. Well, he told me to F off, so in many ways, I think what goes around comes around. There is that side of it.
Absolutely.
There is that side, yeah.
There is that side of it, but I just think that was crossing the line with him. And especially with people saying, yes, I agree, that's just mental illness.
Yeah. But it is that thing about that I said earlier about keyboard warriors. It's easy to do that online. But would you even dare to do it face to face? Say that face to face. Would you be brave enough? No, not at all. Yeah.
No, it's true. It's true. I mean, I've been attacked recently by people on Facebook who I might see occasionally in the Tesco. Even in my current state, I'm going to go and say, have you got something to say to me?
Yeah, quite right.
And I'll watch them squirm. I will watch them squirm because they won't. Because I can shout louder than them. I'm a gay man. Davey B, evening all. Not a nice topic to have to touch about, but discuss well. And as Poirot would say, when justice fails us, we had to raise that flag higher. With respect, knowing not to cross that line. Well, thank you for that, Davey B. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, these are just topics we have to talk about because he's still associated with Doctor Who, even though I'm going to say it again. I think he's gone. I think that's now obvious. He's gone. And good riddance. And hello to Julie Dunn. Let it die. There isn't supposed to be a 16th Doctor anyway, only 13. But the BBC don't think the BBC know how to count, saying that they don't know how many genders there are. The BBC. They're on a slippery slope to nothing, that lot, honestly.
They really are.
Yeah.
And none of us are going to miss them, I'm afraid. Can't believe I'm saying that about things like Doctor Who and the BBC. It would have been my 10-year-old self would be shouting and screaming at me now, saying, what are you talking about? Wait, the BBC's brilliant. Because back then it was.
It was, yeah.
And we loved it, didn't we? You're quite right. Lex says George Lucas's ex-wife, Marcia Lucas, has passed away. She did the editing for the original Star Wars.
Yeah, she made Star Wars popular. That's the theory. So,
she was partially responsible, wasn't she?
Yeah. What a great job she did of it as well.
Yeah.
Bless her. Problem being, Stonewall has always been a lobby group, and now it's a lobby group seeking to remain relevant after fulfilling their purpose in this country. Lobby groups should be banned. Lee, I've always said this about Stonewall. As soon as they achieved same-sex marriage, which still makes me laugh, Anyway, sorry. Always scared the life out of me. What do you mean you want to get married? Sure. Anyway, they should have wrapped up, but no, they had to find a way to keep themselves in job and money, didn't they? So they all boarded this TQ bandwagon. Sickening. And a super chat from Peter Wilcock. It's good to see you, Pete. How are you? Doctor Who must be far away from TQBS and RTD insisting gay people are queer. Awful word. Thank you. Doctor Who needs to be a phoenix in the ashes, rise above it all, great adventures, and new Weetabix cards. Yay! Wouldn't it be great? I didn't hear, I read a couple of weeks ago that they are looking into how to bring back the free gifts into the cereal boxes because some EU law has been disbanded or some crap like that, or it's been laxed or something, you know. So Kellogg's and Weetabix are looking at how they can put free gifts back into the cereal boxes. And I immediately thought it's a shame Doctor Who isn't popular because you could do the card things like they did in the 70s, and that would sell the Weetabix again or something, couldn't it?
They probably stopped it because there was like a choking hazard or something bizarre like that, finding a
It
plastic
was.
toy in your bloody cereal, yeah, something like
It
that.
was,
yeah.
and apparently it's been relaxed or it's been got rid of.
Yeah.
And let's hope that these people should be adults and know certain things now. And
You have to take responsibility for your own
Darwinism, though, isn't it?
actions. You have to be an adult. You have to be like responsible. Don't just pass on the blame to someone else.
But it is Darwinism, isn't it? If you pull out
Yeah.
from a packet of cereal a plastic pack of little monster cards and you chose to eat them and choke, then
That's your own fault.
you're filtering the idiot out of society, aren't you? Really?
yeah.
Survival of the fittest, exactly. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. You've got this Weetabix or you've got this plastic card. Which do you eat? If you get it wrong, really, yeah.
Where are the parents? I keep asking
Exactly.
this constantly these days, with the government becoming more of a nanny state. Where are the bloody parents? Mind you, as I said in the late 90s or the turn of the century, when you start having children, you're going to have a problem in the future. And here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are. Because there were loads of kids, weren't there, who were 16, 15, 16, having children under the last Labour government because they got a bloody council house.
Yeah. And your granny's 25, that kind of thing. Like that,
Yeah. It's shocking. And if any of you there have bred, you breeders out there at that age, you don't get any sympathy from me. Sorry. You might have got a nice little council house, but you're not getting my sympathy because you shouldn't have done it. You should have gone and got a job and got a career and learned about life before you bred. What did you teach kids? That they're queer. I mean, come on. Honestly. What a show. I'm going to finish it there now, guys, because it's been a packed show tonight. It's been really good. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for watching. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe. If you are not new to the channel, please make sure you're still subscribed. Give us a thumbs up. You can give us a hype. And I want to say thank you, not just to Third Doctor Ian and to Paul, but to everybody that has been with us over the last few years, because this week, what we've all been talking about on Who's Views for a number of years now made the press and was talked about. And we were absolutely spot on with a lot of our discussions. So I want you to bear that in mind for the future. Okay, because a lot of what we talk about, it's good stuff here on Who's Views. It's good stuff.
It really is.
Yeah.
So thank you all very much for that. Don't forget, we will be, I'm going to say it again, you're going to be hearing about it all through the year. We're going to be appearing at Invasion Blackpool on Saturday, May the 15th, 2027. Tickets are now available. You can go and like and follow the Invasion Blackpool Facebook page. They're going to be announcing the details throughout the year of who they've got coming along, including us. You might get on the show because we're going to be broadcasting live. And yes, we're all going to meet up on the Friday night before it and on the Saturday night after it as well. More details of that next year. We'll talk about that. But yeah, of course, we're going to have drinkies in the bar. Come and join us. Third Doctor Ian, Paul, great show. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Enjoyed it very much. Thank you very much.
Another big one for us. And yeah, to all of you, we'll be back tomorrow live at 8 o'clock with our review of The Paradise of Death.
Now, is that canon? Can I just check? I wonder if that's canon. Is that canon? No.
I think it can be whatever you want, but probably. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow. Come and join us for that tomorrow live at 8, and then on Thursday here on the channel live at 8 we've got the start of our brand new Master of the Universe series. Until then, from all of us here, Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon. Take care of yourselves. Ta-ra,
Good night,
everyone.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.